different. This is magnificent, man. And I like this. I enjoyed myself to the fullest, and I can't wait to come back on. I can't wait to see it, see more of the people on here.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other.
You're doing something like you and I've always talked about, outside the box. And on top of that, entertaining people at the same time. And on top of that, educating people at the same time. Obviously, you can't lose, bro.
Last name Cabrera, first name Ryan. Ryan, welcome to my friend. How are you, man?
Whoa, dude. Yo, if I ever need to find somebody, just in general, I am calling you.
You know, your future has no limits, Avi. You just keep doing what you're doing, my friend, and you're going to be able to write your own ticket.
I mean, yes, pain is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason we have these sensors in our body. I mean, they're warning signs. In other words, something hurts. Obviously, something is amiss.
That's the standard, especially on film. When the film, you know, the cameras weigh in on your soul. If you commit to not putting crap out there, you can actually make a difference, certainly for yourself, and maybe something about the soul.
And we're just beginning to unlock and comprehend the true nature of the universe, in my humble opinion. And we still have no definitive proof that life exists outside of our solar system.
And I would ask him to come with me back to early 2023 to save my son's life.
My father passed away. She's an only child. Her mother had passed away. She didn't have any family. And she asked me to walk her down the aisle. That's the part that changed.
That cruel moment of when you realize there is no hope. That tears at me, but it doesn't tear at me anymore because there was hope. I hung on just long enough to come out the other side. And here I am. Look at me, all beautiful and stuff.
But now you're going to bring your garbage and war out into space. Well, we're not going to let that happen.
A high tide's going to come. You're not going to be able to overcome at least what technology has created.
And they were rebuilding that country at a cost.
Their truth is the truth that we imbue in them, to be kind, to be civil.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm not all the names that the kids were calling me on the playground. I was dyslexic. It was a recognition.
Continue to work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief. The grief will build up. Two people, two different stories.
It was a life-changing moment because I was no longer allowing myself to be a victim.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy, or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Abby. That's
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber. Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person.
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive. I'm going to go Don Corleone.
The bed actually looks like a bed. ED. If you think about it, lasagna is just spaghetti-flavored cake. I don't know. Have we ever thought about this? That the object of golf is to play the least amount of golf. Think about it. That's golf in a nutshell.
Yep. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true.
That's the object.
Where I went around, I visited all the adults first in the cancer, the Stony Brook University Cancer Center. And then I visited the children, and I would say the adults were at least as enthused and joyful to see Santa. And
so Mr. Ventura, I said, I don't know if you remember me. He says, of course, Jacques Rougeau, I remember you, the Rougeau brothers, you know. And when he said that to me, it was like, holy.
I got a chance to get to know Joe Weeder. Joe was like a second father to me. He took me under his wing. He introduced me to art. He introduced me to history.
I had a blast. I want to dance with somebody.
There we go.
I'll do it.
I do too right now, guys and gals. And you know,
when you say videotape, I'm gonna say it once again to all Jake's people, all them Braves fans.
Hey, y'all, appreciate y'all. You know I love you and keep rooting for them Braves.
But I was going, Tom, Don, I'm a true fan. Yo, I never watched all of your movies through, Tom, because they scared the crap out of me. Love y'all, man.
Pleasure. Great to meet you. It's great to meet you too, Trent.
Avi, you did a great job.
John Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you.
Last name McMahon. First name Jim. Welcome, my friend, to the second round reveal show.
Avi, always great to hear your voice, kid, and to hear your intros. You're amazing.
I welcome a power player and businessman. Last name Rosenthal. First name Steve.
Avi, you are unbelievable.
No, please.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. It was better than my bar mitzvah.
Welcome this man. Last name Davidson. First name Tommy.
Nice. Now, I think that's the best intro I've ever had.
Oh, I appreciate that, my friend.
Grab your mommy. Here's Tommy.
Did you have a nice time tonight in the green room?
I had a great time. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it. Unbelievable.
$15,000, trip for 2 to Greece, winning it all, competitive juices. Are they all there, Joe?
Man, the competitive juices don't stop.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
You get a chance
I am here to destroy people, to win, put up the rhymes that make things say that be so fine, and then hit you in the butt, because I'm ready to win this all. It's all about me going to Greece with my wife and my family and having a great time. Let's win this. Let's win this.
Oh, you here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play. I just win.
You're chomping at the bit to get in this thing.
Oh yeah, man. I've been telling you, brother. You brought up some names to me, and I was like, I can't wait. I hope they don't see me, because it's gonna be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby. And I'm not playing.
First name Joe Smith. Welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi. Where did you get all of that from? Oh my God.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me, unafraid. God, it matters not how strait the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. Let me tell you about a voice. The one that whispers. It tells me what's right and what's not, when to leave and where to go. It's not Shakespeare. It does not speak in memorable lines. My inner voice always gives it to me straight. Tells me who my real friends are, when to say yes, when to say no. Whether the person sitting next to me is the one I'll be spending the rest of my life with.
You already know that dedication, hard work, and perseverance gives positive results.
Let your instincts guide you.
Your 15 minutes are up. You better start thinking of something else. What else to do? What do I want to do? I was picked a day that I was going to go to the Taxi and Limousine Commission to try and get my license. And the day before I decided to go, I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. Getting a job is like having money in your pocket. If you got it, you can get it. Strangely enough, so this was in September. By October, I had a TV job, an off-Broadway show. I was directing a play, and I was going to be in January going to do this movie. It was called Harry and Sons. Go figure. What would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere, because I'll die if I don't.
David Tank Abbott and Teddy Long move on officially to round number 3. 2 out of 3 always move on. Teddy and Tank have moved on.
Moving on to round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament are none other than Richard Klein and Cindy Pickett. They will both be in round number 3.
And also with 20 votes, Mr. Eddie Johnson and Stephen Tobolowsky will move on to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament soon, and congrats on moving on to round number 2.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah!
Let's do it. With 20 votes and moving on to round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament, DC Glenn will be in round number 3, guys, of the tournament with 15 votes. Pete Babcock will move on to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Guys and gals, in round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament, please give it up for B. Brian Blair, Larry Zabisco, and Miles Avery Howard. Giselle, let's give it up to them in the back as well. Clinton, are you here to win the entire shebang, my friend?
Of course, nobody gets into a competition to lose.
Peace, are you here to win it all, my friend?
I am absolutely here to win it all. As everyone in this tournament, their resume says they are winners. Well, somebody's got to be the ultimate winner of this tournament.
Our top vote getter with 35. David Justice for sure will be in round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Are you here to win the entire tournament, my friend?
Oh, yeah. You know that. I mean, like I told you, man, that's all I do is win championships.
Both Matt Fink and Jeremy London will advance to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Man, oh man, they are going on to round number 3.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals to co-host shows with him throughout the network, covering everything you can imagine. He's assembled artists, authors, film entertainers.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. Like in a day and age when our airwaves are just completely oversaturated with false narratives, with social media futility, with craziness, Avi just is I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Here, but with a very warm heart for Avi, and thanking him for all the work he's put into creating the new network. For me, I have just a teeny part of this in terms of having a program that's based on storytelling, where I get to share some of my stories with you.
I can't even imagine how hard Avi Klein works. He tells me he gets 4 hours of sleep a day, and I actually believe that, because Avi is so passionate, he works so hard, and
tune into Avi's network, because there's a lot of jewels that we're going to uncover.
And I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me in all that, and I thank you so much for that.
I am so grateful for our friendship, and you know what? You appreciate things in people that make such a difference. You make each of us feel like we're more than we know how to even thank you. Anyway.
He's very respectful, and he really connects with the artists and his audiences. And I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. But you do it with class, understanding, professionalism. You're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you. And you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can share your victories, you can share your failure, you can express your deepest feelings, but
The greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend, and I feel an unbelievable level of wealth, and a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
I don't take this man for granted as a friend. I don't take him for granted as a brother, and I will say that because who knows what tomorrow brings. And I appreciate you for who you are, Del, wholeheartedly. The floor is yours, Solo.
Well, thank you, Avi. I appreciate that, and the feeling's mutual. I appreciate you for who you are.
I just think it's going to be, you know, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people, there's nothing like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. You know, I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it. You know, because I know it's going to be interesting and see if people tune in and stay tuned in. And I really hope they do. And you know, I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
For being you, my friend. I appreciate you and respect you wholeheartedly.
And that goes double for me to you, Avi.
Hey, Pop. I'm going to start the show every Saturday night. You know how I do. No script, Dad. 30 seconds of me just talking to you, telling you that I love you. I appreciate the power you've given me, Pop. I got you that water like you asked. But there's nothing insightful I'm going to say right now. That wouldn't be honest. It'd be forced. What I want to tell you is that you're going to be honored every single time I wake up, every single time I close my eyes, every single time there's a microphone hooked up over here, every single time the Knicks blunder and fumble and mumble and stumble and bumble all over the place like we used to. I love you, Dad. And guys and gals and pals, I love you for being here tonight because this right here, guys and gals, is the Green Room, the TKN Celebrity Tournament, round number 2. Industrial-sized air conditioners at your favorite B&B in Alaska would be rendered obsolete after watching that intro because we're all fired up. That much is a fact. You've all experienced luminary after luminary after luminary. Enter this virtual arena. Indeed, this tournament is quite stacked. I dubbed this vision of mine edutainment because I place emphasis on entertainment and education because on this station, we celebrate those that are passionate about their vocation. And this format is anything but the same old, so I thank you for embracing the innovation and expressing your constant elation when taking in the most star-studded tournament of them all, a place where competitors convey their level of admiration, while we marvel at the information, passion, and perspiration when observing this wide array of talent that make up the population of strong-minded thinkers that enlighten us, which is why I subscribe to conversation, because listening and applying is how we get to our destination. We're all so much closer than we are apart, which is why this show offers a demonstration of what's right about us as a society. So for the new viewers out there who have a fascination, sit back and enjoy as I put a cap on this verbal dissertation. Let's keep doing what we do and realize that our motto isn't some Sherlock Holmes mystery. A legendary director of Superman fame, my mentor, told me years ago, write your own history. Teaching history and screenwriting for the very best was one thing. Sharing your history is an honor. That mentor lives in my heart daily. His name was Richard Donner. So let's sit back and realize what we've witnessed here in this tournament, oh so grand, where 131 Hall of Famers and Hollywood Award winners and nominees own this land as we discover and rediscover our humanity through open dialogue and expand. So be prepared to give a hand to competitors that are about to work their sweat gland, all the while our attention they command. With 15 grand, and a 5-day, 5-night trip to Greece on the line, one can't forget about the pride and the prize. So with that, let's all rise and reprise our roles as educational voyeurs that never chastise or agonize, but rather revel in our beautiful reality without needing a disguise here on this network where we're allergic to lies. The bard Shakespeare once said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but it is in ourselves. So if you love something, don't hate others that do, because doing is the sweet nectar that is most rewarding. Take a moment to breathe, admire your desire to aspire, because if you don't, life will be but a blur. Of this I'm sure, so never hate the flower for starting out as a seed. Long distance running is essential. This isn't some stampede, so don't run anyone over on the top. Focus on yourself, never forget to cheerlead, root for your loved ones, and lift people up. This human fortune cookie hopes that we've all agreed that positivity is something we can never concede. So with that, guys and gals and pals, our first participant of 4, our first 4-way matchup in this tournament, oh so grand. Let's remind you that you are voting tonight. You will be voting on who resonates most with you. You know, they said this, and I might as well say it in front of the camera. People I worked for said last year, you know, you got to be a bit more controversial. I said we do conversation, not controversy. And they also said, hey, guess what? It's a tournament. Do you think people will be voting based on people's opinions? Of course, because this is a sport of the mind. I would never do something like this unless it's A, innovative, and B, impactful. And guess what? That's not because of me. That's because of people like Rob Van Dam, and Joe Smith, and Zab Judah, and Jamie Sparling, and Stevie Ray, and Lou Ferrigno, and everybody involved in this tournament who gives everything of themselves to all of you, because you're inviting us to your living room, and guess what? That means you trust us. Everyone here in this tournament trusts you as well, because they're sharing their life stories with you. That's what it's all about. But at the end of the day, it is a competition. I dub it competitive camaraderie. There's nothing wrong with that, because we're philosophically fun. So guys and gals and pals, to know wisdom is to experience humility. And to avoid the stumble and fumble and bumble in life, we must first know the meaning of the word humble. Our first opponent, guys and gals, epitomizes that very word, the word humble. Please, if you will, let's take a look at one Jamie Sparling.
Martial art has a very, very deep meaning as far as my life is concerned, because as an actor, as a martial artist, as a human being, all these I have learned from martial art. To me, at least the way that when I teach it, I mean, it might sound too philosophical, but it's acting, or acting, unacting. It's a combination of both. I mean, here is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man, no longer a human being. So it is a successful combination of both.
Moving the body elegantly that's a feat all in of its own. But if I could spend 6 hours with him, I would ask him over the course of his 88 years, what were the things that really threw him for a loop? Something can't be 100% good, it can't be 100% bad. So we can face our fears. Sometimes we face our fears, run face first into them, right? A couple of times or whatever, and we didn't need to.
Guys and gals and pals, when you look at wisdom and dissect that very word, not just interpret it, you have people like Jamie Sparling, who's out there to help the youth and provide not only wisdom as it comes from him, and not only when it comes to martial arts, but also about life, guys and gals, life itself. So with that, guys and gals and pals, our first participant is a kind and talented artist that can karatify any of us. His positive energy is a constant. You'll never hear him fuss. If you're feeling down, he'll lift you up with his compressions and mojo. If you want to build yourself up, take a look and step inside his dojo. As an artist, he'll rock you with his innovation like the chili pepper flea. If you want to appreciate life, join his dojo affinity. You'll learn what you might already know and stand tall like a tree. You'll have the confidence of a 1960s Muhammad Ali. His stage presence and storytelling gifts captivate me. He subscribes to conversation, not controversy. Unlike the case of Oswald, first name Lee. He's here to win it all, and soon he'll find out who will face in round 2. You'll see. So let's welcome a Green Room OG and brother, last name Sparling. First name, Jamie. Jamie, welcome to round 2 of the TKN tournament, my friend.
Avi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. That was such a beautiful introduction. Hello, everyone. I am excited to be here to face these gentlemen. The wife and I have had a rough couple weeks, and I'm ready to put a cherry on top of that, have some fun with these gentlemen, learn from them, speak my mind, and God willing, move on to round 3.
Round 3 of the tournament. Hey, it's upon us. I love the camaraderie. I love the respect. At the end of the day, though, hey, it's a tournament. God knows that we have a lot on the line, a lot at stake. Jamie Sparling, I'm going to ask you the same question I will ask Mr. Joe Smith, Mr. Rob Van Dam, and Mr. Zab Judah. 15 grand, trip to Greece. Are you here to win it all, my friend?
Absolutely. This is a once in a lifetime chance for a great many people, and just being here means a great deal to me. But I intend on taking my wife to Greece.
And you know what, Jamie? I've worked a lot of luminaries, and at the end of the day, we're all one and the same, whether people want to admit it or not, because a jackass is a jackass and a kind person's a kind person. And over here, we have people that they mean something to a lot of us, not just because of their resume, but they've never lost their humanity, right? 131 Hall of Famers from the world of sports, music, wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Emmy, Tony, Golden Globe, AMA, WJ, and Olympians, all competing for the pride and the prize. It's not merely the size. When you look in their eyes, Jamie Sparling, they're here to win this thing, but they're also here to educate, pontificate, and do everything they can. This tournament, round number 2, it's been fire. It has been on fire. There's no doubt about it. You're in this thing. You're up against Eric Roberts. Now you're up against Joe Smith, RVD, and Zab Judah. It's not going to get easier, my friend, but you are here. I will put you backstage momentarily and bring you right back in.
Thank you.
Guys, Jamie's ready. You better believe he's ready, guys. This is the man that's always in the dojo, dedicated his life to martial arts. That is Jamie Sparling. Guys and gals and pals, there's something I want to bring up, because when I think of inspiration, when I think of kindness, when I think of giving back, I think of the following gentlemen, guys and gals. I think of a man who always knows what time it is. It's time to give it up for the kids. It's time to dream lofty dreams, my friends. Frederick Douglass said, "The soul that is within me, no man can degrade." And our next participant is not only a second rounder in this, the most star-studded tournament of them all, but he's a dear friend and a man that places heavy emphasis on all things humane. They say life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster woman or man, but sooner or later, the man or woman who wins is the man or woman who thinks they can. This man succeeded by visualizing a world that he wasn't afraid of. He wasn't afraid to pick up the paintbrush and create such harmony and peace through his dreams that lived in their own world and stood on their own 2 feet and dreamed again and lived again. Guys and gals, I'm speaking of Mr. Joe Smith. Let's please take a look at the one and only aforementioned Joe Smith.
When the world sleeps, a lone wolf howls at the moon. Its cry echoes through the forest, a solitary voice in the vast wilderness. This wolf, standing alone, embodies strength, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of independence. Have you ever felt like that lone wolf? Standing apart from the pack, charting your own course through life's dense forests. There's a profound power in solitude, a strength that can only be forged in the crucible of isolation. It's a power that has shaped the destinies of great individuals throughout history. Those who dared to walk alone and change the world in their wake. Consider the artist who spends countless hours in a studio, wrestling with their vision, translating the depths of their soul onto canvas. Or the scientist burning the midnight oil in a lonely laboratory, pursuing a breakthrough that could revolutionize human understanding.
But I mean, the work that I felt that I had to put in, and there was one thing my mom always told me. She was always tell me, never leave a job half done. And I used to cut grass when I was younger. And I used to go, I went to my next door neighbor's house one time, cut her grass, and she had a fence around her yard, and I really couldn't get in between the gate. So, she came over, told my mom that I didn't complete the job, had her talk with me, made me go back out there and finish what I started.
100%, guys and gals. The man always brings the fire, has the desire, has the passion and compassion. Guys and gals, that is Mr. Joe Smith. But right now, let me give him the intro he deserves. Dear Diary, I speak of the word greatness and revel in its glory. Are we exposed to such greatness through hearsay, fable, or an amazing story? Nope. I've seen greatness in the form of a man that has already broken every record there is to break. If your goal was to beat him, you might wind up sobbing on Ricky Lake. His impact in the NCAA and NBA can boggle the mind. What do you expect from someone who commits himself fully to the weak, guys and gals, known as the grind? He was large from birth, about 22 inches long. Makes sense for someone who would dominate in the paint, as he was known to be quite strong. Throughout grade school, his shoe size advanced in lockstep with his age. By the time he hit high school, he received some advice that was definitely quite sage. Miss Watts, his 10th grade English teacher at Maury High School, Norfolk, Virginia, lectured about people whose autographs meant something. Ernest Hemingway, Toni Morrison, what we bring in terms of ourselves can make anyone feel like a queen or king. His mind would occasionally wander, and he would set about etching his name again and again. The magic of our thoughts bring expressed through underrated gifts of holding even a pen. During those dreamy adolescent days, he passed many an afternoon with his nephew Damian Smith, who happens to be 2 years older. As he pulled out from beneath his bed about a dozen notebooks, it was evident that his dreams were even bolder. Damian laughed at his 13-year-old uncle before pausing to reconsider what he was implying about the future, so he asked for some autographs about 20. 20. What a number, as when he turned 20, the amounts of smiles he helped were quite plenty. Speaking of 20, at his 20th birthday party, his sister Roxanne reflected on what was her baby brother, as he was the youngest of 7 kids. Little did anyone know that many NBA teams would want his services and were putting up bids. Eldest brother William said he was always well protected, as he basically had 6 bodyguards around the crib. That's not a rib, as it comes from family, not some mere ad lib. He had a clear vision of his future and told his mom Letha of a particular plan. He would go to school for 2 years, join the NBA, and take care of her. That right there makes him a Superman. Letha raised her kids alone between shifts as a maid until she earned her high school equivalency diploma and accepted a job as a medical clerk at Norfolk Naval Hospital. She did this so she can be there for her kids and be fully committal. She insisted that all her kids finish high school, and she displays all their diplomas on what she called her proud table in the living room of their 3-bedroom ranch house in Norfolk. These are the things that matter. Such attention to upbringing is what we should always soak. There was never much room for ego in the household, and the rules for him were simple. No bizarre haircuts, no foul language, no earrings. Says Letha, I told him that the 2 holes he had in his ears were enough. This for a player that could out-tough anyone in his path as he watched his opponents huff and puff. Whenever he took the court at Maury High or at Maryland, his mother uttered a prayer. Wings on his feet, strength in his arms. He and Allen Iverson teamed up on AAU teams as they became household names that were known in big cities or small, even rural farms. He actually won the 17 and under national championship down in Winston-Salem when he was 17. Soon, over at Maryland, his arrival will be like nothing they'd ever seen, as there was no in-between, as even the dream or my ex-girl friend Irene could sense that on the court this man was a machine. He was there with recruit Keith Booth. But this man worked like a demon because he loved the game. It wasn't about the fame, the name, or the acclaim. He became the first ACC player in the last 30 years since Billy Cunningham to average 20 points and 10 rebounds in his career. He won the Naismith Award as the Collegiate Player of the Year as a sophomore. As he walked off the court at Coldfield House after Maryland's final home basketball game, you could hear them roar. He stopped for a moment to survey the crowd, tearfully waved a couple of times, then disappeared in the tunnel leading to the locker room. Despite chance of one more, the nab beckoned, and he was about to drop the boom. 95 NBA draft. Toronto, KG, Rasheed Wallace, Ed O'Bannon, Damon Stoudemire, Jerry Stackhouse. Legends, but only one would be selected number 1. The drama was thick, and the weight on his shoulders must have weighed a ton. But there it was. David Stern called his name as he became the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. First day of training camp, when he dunked an alley-oop pass, Chris Mullin realized this rookie was a master of his craft. How about some incredible stats? 16 NBA seasons, all rookie first team. December 95 and February 96, Rookie of the Month. Naismith College Player of the Year. AP Player of the Year. UPI College Player of the Year. Adolph Rupp Trophy. Consensus First Team All-American. ACC Player of the Year. These accolades are enough to make even an enemy or opponent cheer, because watching him is a whole lot of fun. There's so much substance to this man. As his mom said, never leave a job half done. The plethora of double-doubles, the rebounds, the limitless times he made our jaws drop as we went, whoa. He never settled for the status quo. His heart allowed those around him to continuously grow and grow. These rhymes are my way to show how this man has it all, like a downtown Manhattan outdoor gyro. Now let me finish from here, guys and gals, as they beckon my name right now to finish these rhymes and introduce him from here to Moscow. Let me finish right now before I plateau and welcome a classy, legendary human being and talent. Last name Smith. First name Joe. Welcome, Joe Smith, to round 2 of the tournament, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi, man. Every time I hear it, I hear something new, man, and it gets more and more incredible, man. Oh my God. Oh
You deserve
my God.
it. You
Oh my
deserve
God, I appreciate it. How's it going, buddy?
It is going great, my friend. Love the conversation today before the show started. And again, Joe, man, I have to say this. People need to know. Guys, Joe Smith's Basketball Academy, you know I've been talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it. This man over here cares about the kids. He cares about the youth. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000. When you watch this man give it back to the kids, you could tell. I asked you this question last time you were here. What's more gratifying? Having a double-double 20-20 game or helping the kids? You said it's not even a contest. It's being there for the kids.
It's not even close, Avi. It's not even close. Being there for the kids, seeing them develop, seeing the smiles on their faces, going through the drills. And, I get emotional talking about it, but, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is. It is. And I could see how much you love it, my friend. I want you to know something as well. Sans glasses, Jamie Sparling, I brought him in, a great human being, a great friend. I consider you a fast friend already. I like the way we communicate. And I want to tell you, man, it takes all of 5 seconds for someone to realize how genuine you are, how authentic you are, the kind heart that you have. And I think a lot of times when people start having conversations with people, there's this quality that is rare in this world that I've observed that most people don't have. It's the willingness to make sure people are at ease. You want to make sure everyone around you is at ease and smiling and having a good time. And that makes you a kind-hearted human being, brother. Really.
Yes. Every day. That's how I live, man. I want peace.
Oh, yeah.
Love and harmony.
You know what? It's getting hot over here in this tournament, though. Peace and harmony. I don't know, man. Joe, we got 15.
But you know what? You know what? But when it comes to this, eat round for round, they going down, Avi.
Ooh,
round for round, they going down.
I like that round going down, guys. Hey, 15 grand Greece. That's a cool thing. Let me ask you this. Have you been kind of trying to maybe learn Greece on the side because you're so confident you might win this thing? Are you looking forward to some of that tzatziki sauce when you win this thing, Joe?
I'm looking forward to it all. I've never been to Greece. I'm trying to pick up on the language. My son played overseas there a couple of years ago. So I got a little bit of background from him, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
I love it, my friend. Joe, I'm going to put you backstage momentarily and bring you right back in.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Joe Smith, guys, a legendary human being, a legendary player, a man, guys and gals, you heard him. He's here to win the entire thing. And, of course, why not? Guys and gals and pals, man, oh, man, are things getting hot right now? I want to bring in a man. We talk about elevating ourselves. This man has done just that, but also literally elevated himself in ways that is just unbelievable. He's done things in the air that would make Dr. J envious. And I'm talking about Rob Van Dam. It's no secret, right? I mean, we're talking about a guy that probably had enough time to make himself some coffee, a little cream cheese and bagel lox circa New York City, Queens, New York, have a conversation with Al Capone's ghost, and then hit his frog splash. He did all that, guys. I don't know if you want play the tape back. You can see him doing all that. That's the elevation and hang time this man had. And that's only talking about his physical prowess. There's a lot more, guys and gals. We are put on earth to enjoy ourselves. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a challenge, meet the challenge. Life is a dream, why not realize it? Life is a sacrifice, offer it. Life is love, enjoy it. We must believe that we're the best so that we can provide the very best unto others. When fatigue sets in, we find out what we're made of. It's a word called pressure, and it's great. Pressure is great because we get to experience it. And the two most powerful warriors are patience and time. Don't teach them to procrastinate and become complacent. Watch them work for you. Our next participant is not only talent personified, but class personified. And in a world filled with smiles that fall short of being considered authentic and miserable, this man spreads positivity, not toxicity. This man, my guest, is a breath of fresh air as he's honest as they come. He's direct. He's positive. He's sincere. He's got great hair. He embraces life. He has given and continues to give back his heart and soul. It never goes unnoticed. Guys and gals, please take a look at one Rob Van Dam.
good. Don't let some idiot talk you out of it. That doesn't mean that every wild notion you come up with is going to be genius, but if there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done, and if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is. If you can look at it and say, I did that, and I think it's pretty damn good. That's a great feeling. So don't let idiots talk you out of something that you think is good. Just do your thing, do it as well as you, that's the important thing. Don't shirk. Whatever you do, give it your best shot. You'll be glad you did.
Pompous? Is it like, is it my ego that makes me think that basic people are just followers that have no empathy, and that it's not normal to even think about what someone else is going through anymore? And is that like something in my head? Or does everybody think that way? And with the factor that I would know what I know now, because you know, going back in time, I just think about being younger, being stupider, because I couldn't have learned everything I learned from any way except for experience. You know, a lot of it firsthand experience, and even the secondhand experience I picked up. Like, if I had to give that up to go back in time, forget about it.
Guys and gals, a main event talent, no doubt about that. A man who always main evented. I do see Mr. Judah in the back. Zab, I see you in the back, my friend. Awesome to see you. Zab's ready to go, guys and gals. I love this man. Right now, I want to bring in a man who's inspired many, guys and gals, by being real. A man who already has become, again, a fast friend, a man who not only inspires people by being honest, but provokes thought. The bard himself, Shakespeare, said, this above all, to thine own self be true. What a concept. Can you imagine being surrounded by people that give and radiate truth, love, and even authenticity? It starts with us. Are your surroundings in alignment with your objectives? Does the word yes beget fulfillment? There's a huge difference between surviving and thriving, and our next participant this evening thrives because he radiates the type of energy that is conducive to success. His stars are aligned, not solely due to his unbelievable resume, but much in large part to his outlook. His level of authenticity is not only refreshing, but very much appreciated. He's humble, and he puts everyone around him at ease with two words that are often not seen, heard, or witnessed jointly: being kind and direct. As a confident man, I applaud him for his no BS approach to life and marvel at the fact that he not only sets goals, but attains them as well due to his skill set, mindset, and commitment. How do I get the message out regarding the next great talent? Telegram, tell your fam. When they tune in, bam, they'll tell you like Uncle Sam that this human being is recognized from here to Birmingham. All one has to do is look outside, as his presence can cause a traffic jam years after he delivered his first body slam. That's because he's taken a blank canvas and filled it with beautiful works of arts that go several orders of magnitude deep. He was transcended in every era, 2024, the 2000s, and even prior to cell phones when you received a beep. He was born in Michigan, the son of Patricia and Alexander. Many would soon appreciate his approach to life, including his one-of-a-kind candor. His parental grandparent, Alexander, Molly, Robert, and Leola, were born in Pennsylvania and Ohio. When he was a child, something supernatural took place as he started to grow. When he was 6 years old, his parents told him not to be afraid of the household ghost named Ron. Give him credit, because if it were me, I would simply yawn. I'd be gone. I wouldn't simply be able to carry on. I'd call my buddies Sean, Don, or John, tell them to fly me out as far as possible, maybe even Taiwan or San Juan. Weird things started to happen, such as radios turning on without being plugged in, nor did they have a battery. Sounds like something out of The Twilight Zone or Art Serling's other show, Night Gallery. His father was always open with him and would even ask him the whys. Knowing your own truth is the best way to prevent an encounter with any lies. He would become an accomplished wrestler, boxer, and would not become someone you'd like to fight bare knuckle. But as a kid, as his sister joked, it was an accomplishment if anyone would get him to mildly chuckle. He was a very intelligent child and used his intellect to support his passion, such as comic books. He appreciated substance over style and wouldn't merely place emphasis on looks. His fascination with Greek mythology led him to debate over other kids in school. Yeah, he was always cool, but he was also very, very inquisitive. Guys and gals and pals, this man was knowledgeable. His sense of wonder became his fuel. Fast forward, he's already written a comic book and stories as well. The man has checked off many boxes because, hell, he's multifaceted. Merely, guys and gals, a story that society prefers to tell. He watched martial arts movies as a kid, and he knows, guys and gals, how to excel in martial arts. He watched pro wrestling as a kid, and he became one of the all-time greats. He enjoyed watching stand-up comedy, and now is an incredible on stage as a stand-up comic. Go after your biggest desire and develop. Maybe that's the key to stay happy. As I've told you before, forget cynicism. I'd rather be sappy. Natural showmanship, guys and gals, is evident when his youth, as he was seen jumping on a trampoline on or off the diving board. If everyone was doing a flip and a half, he'd do too, which left many people floored. As this talent soared, as we all adored, a man that wasn't merely on some billboard, but someone that resonated with us because authenticity is something he never ignored. He started watching wrestling for WrestleMania, and he actually watched in an arena and paid to watch it on a screen. Soon his vast array of talents would be seen, and something happened. When he turned 19, he was set on breaking into the wrestling world as he had a one-track mind. He had a scholarship available and agreed with his father to go to college if he couldn't survive the grind. After graduating from Penfield High, the Panther graduate had a great physique and appreciated the technique of pro wrestling. And although his training was in Michigan, it wasn't in Battle Creek. When he was bagging groceries, a big guy told him who to seek. So was off to Lansing to train with the legendary Sheik. On top of all this, he trained in martial arts at 2 Battle Creek base dojos, taekwondo, kickboxing, kendo, karate, the classes he took. In 1990, he contested the Kalamazoo Heavyweight Tough Man Contest and emerged in the second overall position, which to me is quite storybook. A promoter, Mr. Slinker, told him that he resembled a certain Hollywood star and got him a tryout in WCW. This was 2 years into his career, so we're talking 1992. From WCW to All Japan to a promotion that had its own chant and name on the marquee. I'm talking about ECW, so if you have any idea why this embrace, guys and gals, from me, I offer the glee and scream like a banshee. Please yell yippee, but let me indulge you in his mind-blowing professional accomplishments, which is about as lengthy as a redwood tree. Longest tenured ECW TV champion, 2-time ECW Tag Team Champion, ECW Hardcore Hall of Fame, a member of the 2021 WWE Hall of Fame, a Cauliflower Alley Club Lou Thez Award recipient, a TNA World Heavyweight Champion, PWI Most Popular Wrestler of the Year in 01 and 02, ranked number 1 of the 500 wrestlers in the PWI Wrestler of the Year category in 2002, a Grand Slam Plus WWE Champion, as he is a he's an ECW, WWE Hardcore European IC and Tag Team Champion, winner of the 2006 Money in the Bank, and in the Hammerstein Ballroom in NYC, he would pin WWE World Champion John Cena and become the company's world champ. The cheers proved to all the suits and ties that everyone in his camp, guys and gals, as he was innovative and could always revamp. He invented a lift that involves performing a split, which he took up in his early teens, between 2 benches and lifting a dumbbell from the floor to the waist. It was approved by the International All-Around Weightlifting Association, which is yet another moment in which his legacy can be traced. Split-legged moonsault, 5-star splash, the Van Terminator, over 40 film and TV credits are also to his name because this man keeps busy. This intro was a joy for me, not some unfulfilling job, because he deserves his roses, and you all concur. I can feel your tears of joy as many of you begin to sob. Did you also know that he's an aficionado when it comes to the mob? It's time for me to lob and welcome in a Hall of Fame human being and talent who has a beautiful heart. Last name Van Dam. First name Rob R. Welcome to round number 2, my friend.
That's great, Avi. Thank you. I think you covered everything except for good looking.
Oh, nice hair. I said you got nice hair. Great hair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Hell of an
guys, a lot of people in the house chanting RVD.
Rob Art.
Man, I'll tell you what, brother. Listen, it is an honor to introduce you because I'll do the same thing I did with Mr. Joe Smith. You have become a fast friend. You are easy to deal with. You are easy. When I say that, I mean that as a compliment because when you put your mind to something, it ain't easy. You got to work the grind. You always grind away. But when it comes to being a great human being who respects others and reminds himself of how close we all are as human beings, you epitomize that. You are class personified, but you're a competitor. And I hear through the grapevine that you're ready to go to Greece as well, Mr. Van Dam.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong if you heard that my wife was already making appointments like over there to get her nails done. And
I like that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I like that, my friend. You had a great matchup with Byron Scott and, of course, Robert Davi in round number 1. Great conversation. Rob, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask everybody. This is for some of those who, again, watch the show, not live, but later on. Are you here to win the entire tournament, my friend?
Oh, I am definitely here to take that trip to Greece and to rise, above the shoulders of all my fans that love me. That's what they always do is they pick me up. I try to pick them up when I can as well. And that's my plan here.
I love that, my friend.
Sir.
Rob Van Dam, again, thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for being real, because real knows real, and you inspire a lot of people to be just that. Put you backstage for a brief moment, my friend.
Man.
Love Rob Van Dam, guys and gals, for who he is. And guys, I'm going to ask Zab Judah right now. I'm going to bring him in. Zab, if you want to unmute, my friend, please unmute the microphone. I want to bring you in and give you the intro that you deserve, my friend. Our first four-way matchup, guys. We've never had one before. 3 out of 4 do advance to round number 3, guys and gals and pals. Right now, guys and gals, here we go. We're going to bring in Mr. Zab Judah. Guys, I think sometimes when you think of work, it has to be conceived with fire in the soul, but executed with clinical coolness. And if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. We know that quote. Our next participant is a man that has battled his entire life, but he's touched the lives of many. And although he packs one heck of a punch, his infectious smile and warm heart can never be taken for granted. Guys and gals, let's take a look at one Zab Judah, the legendary Zab Judah.
I like for them to say he took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and he stirred it up well. Then he spread it over a span of a lifetime, and he served it to each and every deserving person he met.
I stayed on the ropes. When I stay on the ropes, you think I'm doing bad. But I want all boxers to put this in the page of boxing. Staying on the ropes is a beautiful thing with a heavyweight when you make him shoot his best shots and you know he's not hitting you. I would have gave George Foreman 2 rounds of steady punching, because after that he was mine. But he was falling, he was missing. I don't know if I'm going to fight again or not. I'm going to retire as of now.
Laugh, I would get a good segment and a good, some funny humor, and Cole and Tommy happen to be one of my best characters, and yeah, that would just get my mind off of everything that I had to do leading up to the next morning and doing it all over again. So I would say the Martin Lawrence show was definitely one of my favorites. A lot of fire and a lot of heat and a lot of, my back was against the wall, but luckily, with the will of my skills and the will of God, I was able to pull out a 9th-round knockout.
Guys and gals, our 4th participant right now, who I'm about to bring in, is an absolute legend, but also one hell of a guy. Despite an onset of challenges, this man was allergic to defeat, with a heart, will, and punch as tough as concrete. No one could deny that incredible heartbeat. His journey began in the late 70s, 1977, but rest assured, his road was tough. Didn't always epitomize the word heaven. His father took he and his 3 brothers to Gleason's gym. Such a privilege has nothing to do with riches or rags. He dive-bombed off the ropes, kamikaze the boxers in training, and swarmed the heavy bags. Mike Tyson stepped out of the shadows in his kitchen, brandishing his heavyweight title belt that he recently won. This incredible young man told Tyson, someday I'll have this too and have my day in the sun. In the words of Mike Tyson himself, this next participant's father was a hero to many in Brownsville. And as his son had the skill, the will, the talent to make the rising sun chill, after a bout with him, you need a few migraine pills. And every time he fought on the big stage, he made the networks the big old dollar bill. Are we talking about pugilist? No, we are talking about someone who this year was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So despite the name they claim in his game, I'd like to give him a nickname, Mr. Z, the maker of Glee. As you see, our original Hall of Fame boxer was under the weather. So we all came together with the guys and gals in round number 1 with a few hours' notice. In a few moments' time, a 6-time world champ. Whether it was Floyd Mayweather, Mickey Ward, Camacho Jr., or Selden, he took them all to camp. This legend is also a 2-time U.S. national champion, and 3 times he won the Golden Glove. Anyone from Biscayne to Fort Wayne to Spain and back to Maine, give this man some love. I'm not a math major, but the smallest percentage of human beings are undisputed champions. This man is one of those select few. Watching him compete is always a treat, as he'd run through opponents who'd be in the back with their shampoo, as he would review this man who was always stellar since his debut, as he'd attain championships he'd pursue. 30 knockouts against the cream of the crop. This man is one of the many people, guys and gals, who is placed on Mount Rushmore. His legend is real, and so is his legacy, not merely the stuff of folklore. So give it up for a man that can do it all. Right, left, uppercut, the gift of gab, and one hell of a jab. I welcome in a kind, talented, humble human being. Last name Judah, first name Jab. Welcome, my friend, to round 2.
What's up, my guy? Thank you for having me. And once again, always, thank you for that wonderful, excellent intro. You know what I'm saying? It's always great. It's always the great feeling to be recognized for your accomplishments in life. And the way you put it together, Avi, is like none other.
Well, you're like no other, my friend. Look, they know 6-time world champ, guys. That's only the beginning. 6-time world champ, gives it back to the kids as well, helps everybody that needs a helping hand, Hall of Fame talent. And last night was in the actual location of the Tyson fight. Am I right?
Yes. I'm just getting back. I'm actually in the car now as we speak, flying in back from Dallas. I just got back to California, and yes, I got to check in with my guy Ivy.
I love it. And I'm going to give you the guys and gals. We're going to start with topic number 1. I'm going to bring in Rob Van Dam, Joe Smith, and Jamie Zab. One question I got to ask you. $15,000 on the line, 5-day, 5-night trip to Greece. Whoever wins this whole thing, are you here to win the whole tournament, my friend?
Hey, man, listen, man, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't the winner already. You know what I'm saying? So, it's good luck to my competitors, but I'm going to treat just like the ring, baby. I'm going for round 1. I'm knocking shit out.
Here we go, guys. Zab Judah, Joe Smith right here.
Joe, what up, Joe?
What up, Zab? What's good, bro? Hey, you talking a lot of mess over there, man.
RVD in the house right here.
Yo, Joe, you know how I do, Joe.
And Jamie Sparling.
I'm big Brooklyn with it, Joe.
We're going to start off with topic number 1, and I can't wait because, hey, we got the viewers. They're all here. 2.5 million strong guys on this channel. Thanks for inviting us to your living room, guys and gals and pals. They needed the introduction they deserve every single time because they give back, and they're here on a Saturday night, so give it up to them. Zab Judah, Joe Smith, Jamie Sparling, RVD. Topic number 1, I'm going to start the topic and zip the old lip in a moment and kick it off to Jamie, who will give us his perspective. Now, we can rebut. When Jamie's making his point, if Rob Van Dam, we've seen rebuttals, if Rob Van Dam, Zab Judah, or Joe Smith want to rebut Jamie, index finger goes up, I pop in, they can rebut or make a point or ask a question while he's providing his dissertation. Topic number 1 is something I call team time travel. Is time travel possible? Short answer, yes, and you're doing it now. You're in the future. You're at the impressive rate of 1 second per second. You're pretty much always moving through time at the same speed. Whether you're watching paint dry, wishing you had more hours to visit with a friend, or out of town asking yourself how many Blazers does Zavi Klein really own. But this isn't the kind of time travel that captivates us. Will we ever travel through time the way H.G. Wells envisioned it? There are a lot of things to consider. How about having a team? How about putting a team together that you would travel with? A trustworthy team that should be assembled, that could benefit us in an expedition. So, Jamie, if you, Jamie Sparling, could assemble a team of 4 to travel in time with, past or future, who would it be and why? You're going to choose someone in your personal life that will be a confidant. You will choose a historical figure to serve as second in command. You're going to pick a comedian that could kind of alleviate the stress. And you're going to pick a well-known present-day figure that could be the spokesperson during your trip. Again, you're going to pick 4 people. A historical figure to be your second in command, a confidant of sorts, a comedian, or someone from today that can be a spokesperson during your trip. Jamie, who would you pick and why? The floor is yours.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, I would go into the future first. Let's talk about a mission, the year 2075. Okay, we're all scared to death with what is happening in the world right now. And there's so much stuff. I want to go there and kind of check it out. Every generation thinks that the next generation is absolutely going to just blow everything. And it hasn't happened yet, so I'm still hopeful. I would take my aunt with me as my confidant. My parents both passed away long ago. My aunt has been the number one most positive influence in my life. She is a dramatic opera singer and an author, and also coincidentally the first in my family to go to college. So I would have her with me because most things that have involved her in my life have turned out pretty damn good. So I would definitely take my aunt. Her name is Kay Sparling. My historical figure, I would take Nelson Mandela. We're going into the future and we're going to check out some things. And he's been through hell and back and still has a clean heart. And that is something that we're going to need, whether it's past or in the future. My comedian, George Carlin. Satirical humor and the ability to look at things, point out the sore thumb that everybody's kind of going, no, this isn't happening, and then put it in such a way that it's clearly happening. It's absolutely hilarious and breaks the ice so that we can start to see things. And my media person or spokesperson, I don't know if this was, anyway, I pick Avi Klein. Avi Klein, I have been with him in college as well as over the screen room thing. I have never seen a human being talk to so many different types of people and both like listen intently as well. Like there are times when I tell him like I learned a lot from you and he'll say, well, I learned this from you. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think you were paying attention. I just thought I was just rambling on, right? Just like now. So first of all, I would assemble that team. I'd like to go into 2075 and see where things go after information sharing in the internet. Okay, we went through a period where it was hard to find. We're going through a period now where everybody just needs to be heard. And because of that, we're screaming over each other and nothing's getting done. How long can that last, you know? And so I would like to go into the future and check out those particular things, see where this is all is going, and hopefully see that with all the information sharing, maybe like right about now, we just left an election where everybody talks about common sense, right? Well, maybe common sense comes from the concept of being on common ground, that we hear each other. Because common sense for somebody in Alaska with sled dogs is not common sense for somebody in Hawaii, right? I mean, there are certain things, but there's also a lot of just different nuances to this. And I'd like to see, after someone's actually lived for 70, 80 years, and they were there at the beginning of the internet, and information sharing, right? Where this is all going. That would be my absolute most wonderful thing that I'd like to go forward and do. And that would be my mission. That is my team, and I feel really good about it. I'm also very excited to be on the screen with you gentlemen. You are all absolute studs. So thank you. With that, I will close.
I agree, man. They are, and so are you. And thanks, man, because at the end of the day, like, you're taking us through your process. I'm assuming that it was kind of a process putting that all together. That being said, I have to say this to you, Jamie. When it comes to this topic of bringing anybody you want, either back in time or in the future, I have a question for you, because a lot of times it's the in-between, right? That we're going to move on because Rob's going to tackle this next. But the question I have for you real quickly, Jamie, if you can't answer this real quick, what would you do if any of those people on the first day met their demise, a stroke, a heart attack? What then?
Well, we're going into a long, lengthy, first of all, I would try to mourn my team and be there for my team, first and foremost. Try to, to help that kind of process. Number two, I don't know. I feel that I have such a strong team that I would not be looking for an immediate team member right away. And, but if I did, I bet I'd grab one of these gentlemen, because I cannot wait to hear what they're going to say.
I like it. And we're going to hear what they're going to say momentarily. Guys and gals, this is the team. We're going to bring up some of your comments momentarily, guys and gals. Julio says, I'm going with my dad, Malcolm X, Richard Pryor, and Mark Cuban. Now, he's not doing the last Shark Tank, so you might get Mark Cuban. There you go. Julio Negron giving us his team. We appreciate that. Some really good comments from all of you guys. Thank you for, again, joining in and letting us know who you would bring in and why. Tom Snyder in 1970. I remember Tom. Tom was a really cool late-night show host. There's no doubt about that. Guys and gals, interesting pick, says Will Wilson, but maybe he's out there already. Let's see what others might say. Great topic. Thank you, guys, because these men are giving it their all. Mr. Rob Van Dam, guys, same question after Mr. Rob Van Dam. I'll give a bit of a rundown again, and all of you as well. If you could assemble a team, Rob, of 4 to travel in time with past or future, who would it be and why? You can choose a confidant. Obviously, a historical figure is your second in command, a comedian, and someone from present day that could fill the role of spokesperson during this trip. My friend, take all the time you want. The floor is yours, good sir.
Okay, so we're going to roll right into it. Well, this was a very thought-provoking thing to tackle. And so I put myself in the mindset of actually taking this expedition, which means that regardless of what happens during this, I have a goal in the end. I have to return to this time. Otherwise, not sure I would want to. There might be better times in life to live out, having a chance to visit or revisit. But since I'm going to come back, I want to bring a trusty team with me. And so off the bat, I need somebody, number one, that's going to be a confidant, someone that I can trust unconditionally. There's only one person that I know of on the planet that I give that much trust to. And it's easy to see because my dad broke it down to me years ago. And he said, there's only going to be, one decision. This is how he put it, that you're going to make in life. That's going to be a lifelong decision. And that's who you marry. And he said, simple question to ask yourself, if this person can be your number one priority, always, no matter what, then that's the right person for you. And she has to feel the same about you. But number one priority means no matter what else is going on, you would drop that if she needs you and go to be with her. And everything else comes and goes. Money comes and goes. Houses come and go, jobs, even kids, as my dad said, come and go. And then there you are with this person that you've made this choice with, this decision. And, my parents were older and, they really believed in the commitment, the Bible, all of that. And so that helped me prioritize a lot of different things in my life. But when it comes to the one person that holds that position for me, it's my wife. So I'm bringing my wife, Katie Forbes, and she's the one that I want to experience everything with anyway. So that's a given, Then I don't have to come back and then tell her all the stories about, like she was there, and she's my best friend. We have the most fun together. Boom. That's definitely for me in my trip, my number one confidant. When it comes to person number 2, thought about this for a long time too. And I don't want to waste too much time with my mind blown over the time traveling aspect. I would like to take that as fact. This is the way we're traveling. Come on, they've been doing it for a while. And one guy that could explain it to me easily in what's it called? The simple, the theory of, not evolution. Anyway, what is it?
Relativity, is that where you're going with this, sir? No?
I'm trying to, yes, thank you. The theory of relativity. And he could explain that to me and how it all relates. And then I would get past that, and that would be Mr. Einstein, who not only would be the guy that understands, one of the guys that understands how time travel works, He also would have some pretty good questions and good observations during the whole trip. He'd be a pretty good note taker that would bring some very useful facts back from this excursion. And Mr. Einstein is going to be that historical figure. Is he historical? Yeah. I guess that's who he is for number 2. And make the trip go so much better. And he's kind of smart too. So, maybe I'll learn a few things from him. We're gonna make this trip a success. So now I need a comedian to bring with me, and the comedian. The only purpose that comedian has is basically just to relieve stress. Then we're not, asking them to really carry their load as far as going on this trip. It's instantaneous, jumping across different timelines in life. So it's not like we have a lot of luggage or limited room on a bus or anything. Like, boom, we're there. In fact, it's probably going to be an advancement from the technology we have now, where I can take a picture of myself and I can send it to my friend Sato in Tokyo, Japan, and boom, he gets it instantly, and he can look at that picture of me. 100 years ago, we never would have been able to imagine that. 50 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to imagine that. So we're going to eventually be able to just send a person that way, and then that's teleporting. And then when it comes to the time, that's Einstein's going to explain to me how that's all relative. But here's the deal with the comedian. If I, sometimes it'll be a little stressful. We're going through a lot of mind-blowing things every day on this adventure, and I got to have somebody that's going to change my mood, someone that makes me happy, gets everyone's vibrations up. We don't want someone like Sam Kinison to start screaming at us when we're already stressed out. That would be a bad choice. So, in fact, a lot of comedians that are material-based, after a while, they could be annoying. Like some people that are trying too hard to always put in one-liners like all the time. Like sometimes they're funny, but then after you're around them too long and they won't stop, it's like, dude, do you think I'm going to pay you for this? So I picked the OG when it comes to comedians. He doesn't even need to talk. Charlie Chaplin is going to go with me on this. Charlie Chaplin, in my opinion, he's like one of the creators of comedy, because he can find and make a funny situation out of anything, out of just taking your bags off of the carousel or getting on an escalator without, anything. He can find something and physically make it so funny. It's transcended through time. He made a career making so much more money than anybody else at that time by being himself, by being one of a kind. He wasn't following someone's footsteps. So anyway, he's gonna be funny. The things he does, from his facial expressions to whatever. So good guy to have, keep our spirits up. Charlie Chaplin. I also got to have someone now that's a spokesperson, and this person's going to be the front man that goes out there in front of the cameras. And myself being a celebrity, I am definitely going to sometimes get out there and explain my perspective of this whole thing that we're doing. Reach out to the people that I connect with, but I want one guy that's great, that everybody loves, someone that's not polarizing, that I can imagine, just someone that makes everybody feel good, and it's Sylvester Stallone. Because Sly has just always been there for us. It's a good male role model my entire life, and he's still there doing it. I love Tulsa King. I love the reality show he did with his family, and can't wait, for this next thing. And it just, He's in his 70s. He's already been through quite a few of these decades anyway. That might be an advantage. I don't know, but he's the guy that's going to warm everybody up to what we're doing, and so they won't freak out and start picketing us like they did when we wanted to split the atom.
And he also was never apologetic for "Stop or My Mom Will Shoot." He never apologized. Good for him. Good on Stallone. Yeah. Man, I like this pick. Which I got to ask you, does Charlie Chaplin now try to overcompensate for all the years we couldn't hear him speak? Is he babbling this whole time now? Because he might be really loud.
He worked well into the talkies.
Yes, the talkies.
Talkies. Yeah, but he didn't need it, and it didn't, help him. And can't even remember what he sounded like. He didn't like to do
Buster
it.
Keaton crossed over. Buster was one of those few people that crossed over to the talkies. You're right. But
George Fairbanks was with him, and in the movie they portray that. The movie that
it's true.
Yeah, what Robert Downey Jr. did, the relationship between the United Artists, the founders, which were Charlie Chaplin and Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford.
Mary Pickford, yeah. All right.
Founded United Artists.
RKO was this big giant. Yeah, they broke away. You brought up Einstein. Question for you, because there's a lot of space over here. I guess the four of you are taking this trip. Maybe perhaps there's more space than there is today. What happens when you and your significant other are trying to have some, just alone time? We all need that. But Albert Einstein is just like, hey, I figured out a new theory. And all right, it's cool, Albert. It's 2 a.m. Like, tell me tomorrow. But what if he's constantly just excited about getting out of this place and going back to 2024? But he's got all these ideas, but it's at 2 a.m. You guys are trying to wind down. And it's like, Albert, you were smart at 6 p.m., but right now you're just annoying.
Yeah, so I do some of my best thinking in the middle of the night. I don't know why, but sometimes I love being up. Like I'll get out of bed at 2 or 3, 4, and I'm up till like 7 or 8, and then I go back to bed. And I feel like nobody else on the planet is up. No one's gonna buy. Nobody wants anything from me, and I feel like sometimes the artist in me or creative juices will kind of tend to come out. So I would open and welcome Albert's comments, and I would be prioritized on how important it is that this guy from the past is talking with us. And here I am. What am I going to complain? I don't have enough time to sleep. Yeah. I'm a time traveler. I can get as much sleep as I want.
That's actually a good point. If you lose 6 hours, just go back 6 hours and gain them.
Yeah.
That's a great. Guys, again, I didn't think about that. Thank you, man.
It'd be so easy. And then when Einstein also explains the physics, the quantum physics of time traveling to me before the trip, when he takes a piece of paper and puts a couple dots and draws some lines and folds it, he's going to be able to explain it so easy. And I'm going to be like, oh, okay, of course.
That's a good point.
We're moving forward from there.
If anyone could do it, it's Albert explaining that. I'm going to ask you a serious question, then kick it over to Joe, and then Zab. You mentioned escalators. Can they ever break? Can escalators break? They just become scared when they break.
Right. That's an old joke. But
yeah. No.
That's an old joke. No, I was gonna try and say it before you did, but yeah, they just. But yeah, have you ever? I don't know if you've seen these horrible. Tragic incidences on Instagram. I follow some crazy ones. Sometimes you'll see the actual steel grates, the plates of them, fold inwards and drop, and people just fall right through them and stuff.
Insane.
And then usually when I see that, the caption is "New Fear Unlocked."
Yeah,
about that, but I've seen enough of those to be afraid that an escalator could eat a person.
Because we used to think it was an old wives' tale, right? You can't get caught in the escalator and stuff like that. And now you're telling me people are getting mauled?
Eaten, yeah. And I don't think necessarily it's in the United States. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
But yeah, I've seen several videos of they don't notice because they're not expecting the whole thing in front of them to actually, when it makes it to the top, it rolls in and then falls in.
Oh my God!
They're not looking and they go, well, and it's pretty brutal. But
I'm glad
some of that stuff you gotta sign like extra. I'm old enough or whatever to get this footage because they show some brutal stuff. If you're,
wow, it's like a waiver. You got to sign a waiver to take the escalator. That's nuts.
No, but to get these Instagram accounts.
I got to ask you a serious question here as well, because you brought up something that actually does really speak to me. There's the B theory of time. It says that all points in time exist simultaneously. So, like, me at birth is as real as me right now saying this. And then the me that's dead can also exist alongside both of them. And they always exist and will always exist. Do you subscribe to that, Rob?
No, I can't really say that I do. The closest I can come is that I know for a fact that we are all like one big web of energy. And, you know, a quick look under a microscope will prove that to you. But we're like a big pool of energy everywhere. And so we are everywhere at the same time. And that's why synchronicities happen where you're, you know, person Sato, who I just mentioned, you know,
sure.
Just brought him up and then boom, he texts me. Holy crap. I understand. But when it comes to all of time existing at the same time, that's another level that I can't really, or at least not yet, can't really get into. But I would imagine maybe it's somehow a perspective taken off of that big web of energy of everything being instantaneous and everywhere at the same time. But that's at the same time, not at different times.
Yeah, and you'd have to be so hopeless to believe in that too, because that means that no matter what you do, everything is a loop regardless. Like there is no hope, and that takes the cinematic effect out of it. I can hear the studio system going, we're not giving Avi a piece like this to write because it's going to be some tragic tale of nothing happening after 30 minutes. It'll be a short film because nothing we do, everything's rendered obsolete in that case. It's crazy.
A lot of people like to believe we come back as rabbits or kittens or something. You know, that's like they really. That's really what gets them through life is holding on to that belief. So
no, that's true.
You know, I don't think they can find any evidence that they're going to be a kitten, but that's what faith is, right? Believing something without evidence. So
that's a really good point.
For better or worse.
Guys and gals, Rob Van Dam again. Let's thank him here on a Saturday night, giving us his time here to win the tournament, giving us a ton. We're going to kick it over to Mr. Joe Smith with that same question right now, and then Zab Judah will take it away. Joe, my good friend, if you could assemble a team of 4 to travel in time with, past or future, who would it be and why? You can choose someone in your personal life that's a confidant that you trust. You can pick a historical figure to serve as your second in command. Pick a comedian that can alleviate stress. And then, of course, picking someone that would be a spokesperson, someone in present day. My good friend, the floor is yours. Whenever you're ready to go, good sir.
All right. And that's a tough one to follow there, RVD.
Going to Greece.
I mean, for me, as you said in the intro, Avi, I'm a big family person, big on my family. And my mom passed away in 2007, so I wouldn't be able to take her on a journey with me through space travel. I really wouldn't have a specific destination because you know, I'm quite sure I'm gonna make multiple stops on a journey. So I really want to have a specific destination of time where I want to spend that time. But first of all, I would definitely take my sister Michelle Jones. She's I'm the youngest of 7, and she's the one that's right above me. And ever since I was a kid, man, we had a type of relationship that was kind of unbreakable. I mean, I could talk to her on the phone for hours, talk to her about anything. I go down to her house and, you know, she makes some shrimp fried rice or something for me, you know, and make sure I got food in my body and my system, man. She's someone that I know would definitely have my back no matter what is going on through the time travel, no matter who we come across, no matter who we might face. This is someone that I know if it's kindness that needs to be presented, then she's there with kindness. But if it takes a fight now, she's gonna be ready to fight. So I mean, she's also, you know, been pretty much a protector for me throughout my life as well. So I would definitely take her along. That would be my confidant. That would be my ride or die. My my ride or die that rolls with me. Historical figure, I would take probably Martin Luther King. As I always talk about, I always talk about peace, love, joy, happiness, and I feel that he is someone that can kind of get that message across, no matter what time zone, no matter what time it is. To someone that can relay the message of peace, relay the message of love, relay the message of like you said, was it Jamie or RBD, of being on common ground. You know, everybody being able to get on common ground and everybody being able to come together and in a positive manner. Like we always say, that this time right here, we've been so divided and things have been so shaken up that, you know, as we go travel into the future, that's something that I would definitely want to try to change and make, you know, try to want to help develop in a better way. So I think Martin Luther King will help me get that message across.
Yes,
My comedian would be Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor. I mean, I feel that if someone that can make jokes about himself going through the stuff that he went through, the trials and tribulations that he went through, you know, from the drug addictions to setting himself on fire to, you know, whatever he makes. So I feel like a guy like that can make light of anything we go through. We may see out there through time travel, you know, whether it's through the portal or whether we get out the portal or whatever we might see. I'm quite sure Richard Pryor can find some humor and make us laugh and be able to enjoy ourselves and put light on a situation that may be a tough situation at times. And my modern day would be my spokesperson, I guess, publicist. I would say Michelle Obama. I think going back to, I think she's someone that would definitely have my best interest at heart. I think she's someone that would definitely, once again, be able to present the message out that I want to relate to the people. I think it's someone that people can gravitate to, and she greets them with a warm, either handshake or hug. You know, I think that's something that I want, a person like that I want alongside. She's a motherly type figure. Y'all know how important, how close I am with my mom. So she's that motherly type figure as well that can kind of keep me in check when things are going, you know, sideways, and that can keep things at bay when things are getting overwhelmed. So I would probably say Michelle Obama as my spokesperson. She can be fierce at times. She can be kind at times. When it needs to be accounted for. So those are my four. That's my crew. That's my team. I think, you know, I'm happy with those selections. I think it's those are the individuals and the type of message that no matter where I end up, no matter what time along the timeline I end up, you know, that's the type of message and things I want to deliver to the people that I come across.
Man, thank you. Those are some powerful picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And based on the comments, Joe's going to be reading them, guys and gals, because we appreciate you giving us your mind the way that Joe has, and giving us some of your choices and some of your picks, and whether or not some of the picks of Rob Van Dam, Joe Smith, and Jamie Sparling are resonating with you. And based on your opinions and comments here, I could tell as they are flooding the comment section, you guys are definitely absorbing everything they're giving you. So thank you. I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Zab Judah in a minute right now, guys and gals, and ask him the same question. But I do want to ask Joe a question as well. Joe, I mentioned Richard Donner in my opening. He directed Superman, Lethal Weapon, Goonies. He was a mentor of mine. He kind of helped me really, I guess, advance as a screenwriter in this industry. That's the best way to put it.
Yes.
He always told me that he thinks a salary that an athlete or an actor has, a salary is like a drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that means?
To
you? And do you agree?
I do agree, because I mean, throughout my career, if anybody, you know, follow my career, at times I played for less money because of that, you know, because I felt that the money was taking the joy away from the game. You know, and I think that happens a lot, you know, with contract issues and contract situations, and, you know, guys coming in and year out, you know, worried about, their future either with that team or whether they're going to get traded, or because I got traded quite a bit as well. So whether they're going to be traded or not, that's always something that wears on you and that you're thinking about. So it's definitely something that we as athletes, that's something that we kind of keep close to our heart. I mean, keep close to us.
Yeah, and you've been there. You've been to the mountaintop. #1 overall draft pick in '95. One of the greats. Rob, I can say the same about you, and I will. One of the greats. Would you agree with that? A salary can be like a drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams. In your experience.
Well, I mean, to me, it sounds like what that expression translates to is that it can become about the money instead of about your artistic expression. That's what I get out of it.
Can money dilute that? Of
course, absolutely.
No
question. And but I mean, it's not. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, the bigger you get, and the more mainstream you get, and this is probably true in almost any pathway.
Yeah.
The less control you end up having. But if you're making a lot more money, then you give up the control and you start giving up some things that were really important to you. Now, like maybe it's not as important.
Sure.
You compromise, and absolutely, money is a great compensation for stealing someone's dreams.
Ooh, yes, totally agree with that. Jamie, would you agree as well? Maybe greed's not a financial issue. Maybe it's a heart issue, because there's sufficiency in the world for man's need, but not for man's greed.
When I hear that quote, what I think of is, well, quite often, I would make more money probably selling real estate than I would teaching martial arts. But I don't know that I can do that, and that I would miss because I don't know. It's just a part of who I am. It's the most positive thing. So I haven't been to the top of the mountain like these other gentlemen have yet. But at the same time, I see it as money would pull me out of my journey up that mountain. And I could see it, right? I'm turning 50, whatever that is.
Sure.
Sometimes I think about all those things. But at the same time, never been so happy, and I don't feel flipping 50, man. So let's just roll with it.
I love it. I love that. Guys, Zab Judah's next. Mr. Judah, guys and gals, again, just came back from the Tyson fight. Last night, the Tyson fight. Yes, he's here with us right now live in round 2 of the largest and most star-studded celebrity tournament ever. Right here, he is in round number 2. Zab, I'm going to ask you a question, my good friend. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
My friend, if you could pick 4 people to travel in time with, 4 people, you can choose a person in your personal life that you think could be a confidant. You could pick a historical figure who will be the second in command of your team. Pick a comedian that can alleviate stress during the trip. And then pick someone from today that could be a spokesperson during this trip. Who would you pick to go back in time with or in the future, and why, my friend?
Okay, so first of all, big shout out to all my competitors, because you guys know I'm a fighter. So you guys are competitors right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it at that. So number 1, I'm bringing the gang with me, Avi. You know that? I'm bringing Muhammad Ali, Pernell Whitaker, Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul.
Ooh, okay. You got all the fighters with you.
I'm bringing. You know why, Avi? We don't know where we going. We don't know what type of obstacles.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Break it up there. I'm assuming Muhammad Ali. Would Muhammad Ali be the spokesperson? Because, man, he had the gift of gab. I mean, he did.
I don't know what's going to... My spokesperson... No. My nope. My spokesperson is Jake Paul. The young. That's the young guy.
Jake
you know
Paul.
What I'm saying? My comedian is Muhammad Ali. He's going to keep entertainment going on and just going on. Mike going to keep us secured and keep the eyes open. Pernell Whitaker is with his charisma and his style. He's just going to keep everything fun and on the go and very militant. So these are my guys, you know what I'm saying? I'm not bringing none of my relatives, my mom or my grandmother, because I don't know what type of status they're going to be in the state, and I don't know where we going. And one thing I know, Ivy, I'm from Brooklyn. You
gotta
Yes.
fight everywhere you go. That's what I
Yes.
know. You gotta. I'm not bringing grandma with me.
I like it. I like it.
I'm bringing the gang with me. Let's go.
I like it. I like it. Hey, listen, Queens, New York, I get it. Listen, Zab, I'm going to tell you this right now. If there's a second time machine, I don't know. I'm getting in that thing if you're coming back to my time because I'm not messing with your team, or I'm going to steal your time machine and get the hell out of there. I don't want to be around your team if I ever cross the line. You got Muhammad Ali, Pernell Whitaker, a Zab Judah, guys and gals and pals. This is definitely a team you do not want to mess with. They will steal your lunch if they want to. They will also, guys and gals, take care of their own, and you got to respect that. So with that, guys and gals, right now we're going to get your votes. Zab Judah, guys and gals, doing his best over here because, again, some tech issues, but he's here with us. He's fighting here. He's a fighter. Before I bring in your votes, these are a couple of videos of predictions you guys made. A couple of minutes worth, not too long. Some of you sent me videos of who you think will advance to round number 3 and beyond. Remember, we're getting so close to the halfway mark of this tournament. 6 rounds. Round number 3 is upon us. Here are some of your votes for this match tonight. Some of your predictions for this match tonight.
The Melo TKN family tonight. We got, for the first time ever, a fatal four-way dance, baby. That is right, because tonight in round 2, we got 4 amazing competitors who are coming to you live, and we're gonna bring their passion, bring their intelligence, and bring their fight. Those 4 gentlemen are Boxing Hall of Famer Zab Judah, NBA legend Joe Smith, all right, Green Room original Jamie Sparling, and of course, Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam. That is right. Those are the 4 competitors who are coming in tonight, guys. Oh my God, how could you call this one? How can you call this one? This one's going to be tight. This one's going to be close. But if I am picking some picks, my top vote getter is going to be Rob Van Dam. He is a intelligent, passionate guy, well-versed in a lot of different topics, a lot of different subjects. He's going to bring it, and I think he has a very good rebuttal game, which I'm sure we will possibly see tonight. My second pick is going to be Jamie Sparling, Green Room original. We saw an amazing display with him and the amazing Eric Roberts. I think Jamie's going to bring it. He is focused. When he is focused and sharp, man, he brings his A game, so that's going to happen. And my third pick, man, that's going to be really, really difficult to figure out. You got Joe Smith, and you got Zab Judah. I think Zab Judah is going to come with that uppercut, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to come in with that uppercut, and but it's going to be close by a hair, I would say. So, again, tonight, guys, it's going to be live. It's going to be action-packed. I am so excited. Cannot wait. Let's do this, familia pa'lante y con fuego.
You know, I'm out here. I'm a little bit disheveled because I'm working on my car. But I'm going to make a quick prediction for tonight's matchup. There's a lot of tough competitors, but I'm going to go with the Virginia native Joe Smith, daddy. He was right up the road from me when I used to live, and he was right there in Chesapeake. He's my homeboy, so I got to go with him. Peace and love.
Hey guys, it's your boy Stevie Ray for another TKN Grand Tournament prediction. And this week's combatants, Zab Super Judah, Boxing Hall of Famer, Rob Van Dam, WWE Hall of Famer, Joe Smith, basketball legend, last but not least, Jamie Sparling, Green Room original. And my predictions will be, Zab, he'll get through because he's super. Joe Smith, he can shoot it at one time. Rob Van Dam, Professional Wrestling Hall of Famer, my boy. Jamie, sorry, but you ain't gonna make it this week. Yes.
You heard it, guys. One of the contenders here, WWE Hall of Famer Stevie Ray, one of the participants in the tournament, making his prediction now. You guys and gals and pals are going to start voting. Mr. Judah, guys, is with us as well. I'm going to bring in the judges. You guys start voting in the comment section if you're typing away. And then we just have one more topic. Unlike round number 1, where there were 3 topics, only 2, 1 more to go. Let's bring in Mr. Zab Judah. There we go. You're in this, my friend. You are in this. We got you. Guys, let's bring in all of our judges, starting with Brian. Brian, who do you vote for and why, good sir?
Hey everybody, how you doing? Man, this was a tough one to choose from, but y'all did great jobs. Y'all came out with the heat, but but I have to give it to Mr. Van Dam. And what really clinched it for me was the fact that you brought in not just telling who you were bringing, but you gave the reason specifically as to why you were bringing them. And it was a very concise and set argument as to why. So that is why you get my vote, sir.
Appreciate you, Brian. Giselle, thank you for tallying in the back right there. The judges, of course, we know have 5 points. You guys have a point there in the comment section as well. Let's bring in Chad, see who he votes for and why.
Gentlemen, great job tonight, and welcome to round 2 of the Grand Celebrity Tournament. You guys put me in a tight spot here to having to judge this. You guys have some great team members. But for me, what's going to come down to is who I think has the strongest team assembled. And to cut it down to brass tacks, I'm definitely going to have to give this one to Mr. Joe Smith. I think he has 3 of the best people on his team, you know, to help out what he needs to do. And they can all be there to, you know, back him up. They're all very smart, talented people to help out with knowledge and find out what's going on in the future. So I'm giving my vote to Mr. Joe Smith.
Appreciate you, Chad. Appreciate your votes. See the judges
Appreciate
there.
you, Chad.
Absolutely, guys. Remember, guys, before you hear their votes, they're there taking notes. Let's bring in Phil Justin. Phil Justin, who I, again, also hails from New York, the Bronx. Mr. Phil Justin, who do you vote for and why, good sir?
You know, everybody that comes on as a judge laments how tough it is. Now I know why. Well, guys, my goodness, you all brought it. I mean, it's hard to dispute any of your choices. But I'm going to lean towards Jamie on this one. I like the fact that he picked Avi as his spokesperson. Avi has proven week after week after week after year that he can communicate clearly and concisely with anybody he deals with. Just look at the diverse people we have on the screen right now, and he communicates with everybody. So for that slight, I mean, you guys, it breaks my heart to not give you each a point and a quarter, but I'm going to vote for you.
I like that. A point and a quarter. Phil Justin, thank you, my friend, for your thoughts. Appreciate you. Good, sir. Guys and gals, our final judge right now. Let's bring in Giselle and see who she votes for and why.
Good evening. This was so much fun to hear. I loved seeing where everybody went and why they chose their assembled team. And my vote tonight for this first topic is going to Joe Smith because he really gave a purpose when he was assembling his team. He thought about what was important to him, what he wanted to get out of that time travel, and who was going to help him most with that. So my point for this topic is going to Mr. Smith.
Appreciate you again, guys and gals and pals. You're listening to the judges who are very concise and detailed. We appreciate them. And now we're going to tally your votes, guys. Mr. Zab Judah, there we go. All right. Guys, let's get your picks tally. Giselle, I'm going to start putting some up here on screen from our masses, the engine that makes this thing go. As you know, Johnny votes for Jamie. We're going to tally that. Okay. IK Peace 911 votes for Joe. Thank you for your vote. Appreciate that. We have more votes, guys and gals. Will E. Wilson, my pick, is RVD overall. I'd say my wife, Elon, Gallagher, and Joe Rogan. Yes, you just don't want to combine wife and Elon. Each their own. We do have some more votes here. Alexander votes RVD, guys. Okay, thank you for your vote, Alexander. A lot of overseas viewers here. We appreciate you. Gloria, I vote Joe, then Zab, then Ron. So we get a vote from Joe from Gloria. Westcott, appreciate that. Yes, Stevie Ray in the house, of course. Never know who might show up. And guys and gals, remember the outro of this show. You'll find out who will be on next Saturday night. 131 Hall of Famers and award winners in this tournament. Only one will win it all. We have another vote. I believe this is from Brittany. She votes Joe first in order Joe, Jamie, Rob. So Joe gets her vote. Thank you so much, Brittany. Appreciate you. Interesting picks. Says Will Wilson. Larry votes for Jamie. His answer resonated with me the most. Thank you so much. Eric concurs. Also votes for Jamie. Okay. Julio says I'm going with Joe on this one. My team was so close to his. so his team resonated with me the most. All right, got you there. We have Edgar voting for Rob Van Dam, another vote for RVD. Guys, very, very close here. I believe there's another one for Rob from Michelle. Let me see if I can pull this up. There's a lot of these. We're on 53 pages, not including YouTube, guys, so I will not pull up all of these votes. Stevie Ann votes for Jamie. Sharon votes for RVD. Thank you so much.
You're missing out on all the Zab Judah people.
No, look at Howard. I appreciate it getting right to the point. I'm going to go with Zab. Howard voting for Zab Judah. Thank you, Howard Collado. Appreciate that. Pierre Kelly, Zab to make a comeback award. You never know. Looking like that right now, guys. We're getting a lot of votes here. Mr. Zab Judah, guys, let's thank him here. He's joining us while coming back from a flight. Didn't know we'd be taking it, but hey, that's just how the old mop flops sometimes. But he is here with us live and in person. Guys, we're going to move on to topic number 2 right about now. We'll switch the order a little bit. We're now going to go with Joe Smith first on this one. Joe Smith is going to tackle this one first. It is a thought-provoking topic, and remember, all of the votes we have from topic 1 are cumulative. They carry over to topic number 2. Top 3 vote getters move on to round number 3. And in round number 3, it's trickier. If you draw a triple threat match, only 1 out of 3 advance. If you draw a 4-way match, only 1 out of 4 advance. So it's going to get tougher in round number 3, no doubt about that. Topic number 2, thought-provoking. I'm going to go with Joe Smith first. Joe, can you discuss a time in your life in which you placed a limitation on your behavior and it ended up serving you rather well? My good friend, the floor is yours whenever you are ready.
On my behavior, I would say on the decision that I made, more than behavior. I guess that goes hand in hand, to a certain extent. But when I was leaving high school, I definitely wasn't one of the highly recruited, basketball players, in the country. And when you're going through your decision to figure out what school you're going to attend, what school is the best situation for you, you have to weigh a lot of options. I felt I wasn't top 100 in the country, but I felt I was a little bit better than, people felt that I was better than making a decision to go to Maryland. So they felt that I was limiting myself at that point, because at that point, Maryland was just getting off of probation. A couple years before, they didn't have a winning record, but they had a pretty good recruiting year the year before I got there. So a lot of people thought I was limiting myself, limiting my ability by going to the University of Maryland when I made that decision. Not knowing that, a year later, we will be in the Sweet 16. We'll be make it to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament my freshman year. Also, my freshman year, I would also become National Freshman of the Year in the country. So making that decision and kind of exploring other people's thoughts and limitations, what their limitations that they put on me, I kind of use that to motivate me to make that decision. Zab, you gotta keep it down, man. So that helped me make that decision, and for that and those limitations. And I felt that at that time, that was a big decision in my life. Like you said, the year before, we had Keith Booth come the same year as I came, as I got to Maryland. And he was the highly recruited player. He was the one that got all the notoriety. He was the one that, when we got on campus, that the entire school, knew he was from, because he was from Baltimore. So no one knew who I was. And for me to make that decision to go to Maryland, a team that played in the ACC but was at the bottom of the ACC, I think that was something that a limitation that I've used to kind of propel myself to the next level. Becoming National Freshman of the Year my freshman year. My sophomore year, we made it back to the Sweet 16. And once again, I was National Player of the Year then. So not listening to other people, but being able to use that and think of that those situations and think of the best situation for me at that time was for me to make that decision to go to Maryland. Even though people thought that, my abilities and everything would exceed, was better than at that time. But I felt that at that time I could go there, help change the program around. We were, my freshman year, a lot of people don't know this, but we were actually picked again to lose the ACC and be last place in the ACC. We ended up that year tied for first place at the end of the regular season in the ACC. And like I said, going on to the Sweet 16. The next year, we came back the highest ranking in probably Maryland basketball history. We got up to number 3 in the country my sophomore year. So for those accolades and those achievements, kind of really, make you feel good about the decisions that you're making with the limitations that people have put on you.
I appreciate you, my friend. There's some comments here, again, showing everyone here on screen how much they are resonating with the masses. Julio says, not all limitations are bad. Once a change of perspective is all it takes to see the good in some people. Joe coming in strong, no doubt about that. Made best decision for you to pay it off. I think of this when you were speaking right now. I think of the fact that when you know something, you have a decision to make. When you do know something, and you promised your mom. You also came into the league. People need to understand this because you're too humble to bring this up. You were the number 1 overall draft pick during a time, and we're talking about the class, the positions of people coming out. I mean, Rasheed Wallace, right, as a 4. You coming out as a 4. I mean, we're talking about talents that were obviously so ready for the game. There were even bigs that finally made it to the league in '95, like Sabonis after a 10-year, I guess, a holdover period where he couldn't come from the Soviet Union to the U.S. But then in '95, they have to remember this is the apex of basketball. Yes. You had Michael Jordan coming back with the Chicago Bulls, Shaquille O'Neal and Anthony Hardaway riding sky high. Out there in the West, you had Utah, San Antonio winning 60 games. The Rockets as a 6th seed winning a championship. Yes. I mean, no matter where you were looking at, you were playing contender against contender. Every single night, there was a cream of the crop team gunning for you. And at the same time, even to add to that, it was a transitional period for Golden State because in the middle of that season, Tim Hardaway's traded to Miami, right? We know that. Yes. Chris Mullin was getting hurt. He was getting a little bit injured here and there. Sprewell was still the man. So really the kind of team was in a bit of flux. A couple years earlier, Golden State was on the rise. So there you were, the prized attraction for them, the man who was giving them double-doubles every night. On top of that, you were a rookie in a season where rookies were not going to get attention anyway because Jordan's Bulls won 72. Magic Johnson returns against you guys, I think, January of 96.
Can I say something about that, Avi?
Yes, how was that? How did that feel?
Like, Avi, that was a dream come true for me, Avi. I grew up a Lakers fan. I'm from Virginia, but I grew up a Lakers fan. Magic Johnson was my favorite player growing up. And right before 95, I got drafted. That was maybe 2 years before is when he had to retire. So he had to retire because of the health situation. And I never thought I was going to get a chance to play against Magic Johnson, man. Never, ever thought I would ever get a chance. That was a dream. That would have been, the biggest dream come true other than being picked as the number 1 pick. So
even better, you were also matched up because he was playing the 4 back then.
He was playing the 4, so I ended up having to guard him when he came back. Ooh. So, just being it was at the Forum at the time and being at the Forum and his opening night, his first game back was against us and he didn't start. He came off the bench and just seeing him, once he rolls off the bench, you can just hear the rumblings in the crowd, slowly rising. As he's walking down to the scorer's table, it's getting louder and louder and louder. And by the time he take his jacket off and check it in the game, it's like everybody's out there seats. And he comes stand right beside me at the free throw line because someone was shooting free throws. I can't remember who it was.
Right,
but they were shooting free throws, so he came and stood right beside me, man. I just got like a little kid, man. I was just, so I got the chills. I started shaking. I got nervous. I didn't even know what to say to him for a while. It was just the best moment in my career.
Yeah, you caught that right when he was coming back for only a few months before he retired again. Absolutely incredible stuff right there.
Yeah, that was the best.
And of course, guys, you're looking at one of the greatest Maryland basketball players of all time in Joe Smith. There's no doubt. You guys want to see a dominant season? Watch that senior season. What this man did is absolutely mind-blowing. And also mind-blowing, and I don't say this unless I mean it, so I do mean it. also mind-blowing is somehow forcing yourself to watch 25-minute highlights when you only have 2 minutes. Because if you're going to try to watch a 2-minute highlight reel when watching Rob Van Dam, it's not going to work. Because the 25 minutes or 35 minutes or 65 minutes worth, they're going to keep you entertained. You can't just watch a 2-minute highlight reel with Rob Van Dam. But, well, guys, it's also the substance. It's placement. It's where he put those spots together. It's where he decided to do what he did. And then, of course, the crescendo, the impact. But it's the way he built the match, so layered. And then on top of that, to still have the energy to rock the mic the way that he did, to still be able to talk to fans and treat them like human beings, which me as a screenwriter, I can tell you, a lot of people in film and TV, there are some that don't do that. This is a man that does. He is a man for the people. And right now I'm going to ask him the same question I asked Mr. Joe Smith. This is our thought-provoking question for Mr. Rob Van Dam. Rob, can you discuss a time in your life in which you placed a limitation on your behavior and it ended up serving you rather well? Whenever you're ready, good sir, the floor is yours.
Yeah, if I take the question the right way, there's definitely several times throughout my adventures that come to mind, and I'll go with the first one. And I don't know if this is going to be a popular thing for me to say, because it's a lot of times my one of a kind perspective, my RV theology is not what the sheeple and the basic thinkers would agree with. So having said that, I think about a time back in 1997, and I was wrestling for ECW, and at the time, the whole dressing room was like a party atmosphere in the ways that we were all there to get messed up, and handfuls of pills, I'd swallow them, drink it with beer, not even know what somebody gave me. Really, really careless. It was a careless time because for me, I didn't know how dangerous it could get. I really didn't. There was one wrestler that I'd heard of that overdosed. I didn't know him that well. I just met him in passing, and I just thought that was something really freakish. If you know anything since then, it became quite popular to die at a young age as a pro wrestler after that. But at this time, I really didn't know how dangerous I was. And we were eating somas, which are muscle relaxers. That's the one that did a lot of my friends in. Always mixed with some alcohol, some pain pills, some Valium usually. And anyway, that was the scene, and I was enjoying it. And then one of my friends overdosed and died. So that one hit so close to home, I couldn't ignore it, obviously, and I was very hurt over it. There was 3 of us, me and Sabu and Louis Spicoli, and all of us, the 3 of us would hang out and eat these somas after the matches in huge amounts. I would eat, I got up to I think 35 a day, but Louis was taking 100 a day. Wow. So that was my safety gauge. All right. But man, after he died, I felt so low. I must have been, I guess, 26 years old then. And I just felt so low, what a failure, loser. I remember talking to my dad on the phone, and I was like, oh my God, Dad, I got myself hooked on drugs. I'm going to have to go to rehab or something now and fucking, oh my God, get all straightened out. And my dad was like, have you tried quitting? And I was like, well, no, but I've been taking them, every day for a long time. From what I understand, he goes, well, maybe you can just quit. He said, try that, before you get all worried about it. And you know what? At that point, I did what he said, and it was that easy. It was a choice. I didn't want to eat any more of those, and it was so easy that it changed my beliefs as an adult. And this is where a lot of people don't want to get behind this opinion of mine. But I think that I'm sorry, I'm thinking of too many things going, and you got me all emotional too. So I think about when it comes to drugs. First off, I think that drugs are a good thing. Use is good, abuse is bad. Drugs extend our life. You know, if you say no to drugs, but let's see you get your teeth worked on, or have a baby, or have your leg surgery without any drugs, and see how you feel then. But my view, though, that I want to say is on the strength that people have, maybe that they don't know they have. So that's where, like a lot of people, they don't know, like I didn't know, that I could just quit. And there's so much hype and there's so much fear in addiction that it literally has made it almost impossible for people that really need certain medications to even get it, because it became like so popular and it's so jacked up on the price and everything. But I think I know addiction is a real thing, but I'm just saying so is strength. And a lot of people automatically just don't want to even give that a chance. They automatically just think like, boom, I'm weak, I'm helpless, or this other person is. I got to get this person help. And sometimes, man, it really is just a choice. And so that's like the first layer that you got to get through before you start looking at whether you even need help or not. So I believe in reprogramming as an adult, and I have, after reprogramming for the rest of my time as an adult, believed that there's a lot of hype in addiction. There's a lot of hype in making these wonderful medications demonized. And there's a lot of fear. I sat next to a doctor on an airplane, and he was telling me that his knee hurts so bad whenever he flies. And I was like, but you're a doctor. Can't you just write a prescription like for some Vicodin? And it was, oh no. He goes, I don't want to start that. I've seen too many people that can't put it down. And to me, I think that that's like living in fear, which is fine if that's what you want to do. You got your own priorities with your own values. But for me, the fear that I possibly could be one of the few, because most people that even use drugs daily don't have any kind of issues with dependency or abuse. It is a small percentage of the people that even have that, and people are led to believe it's the majority of people. And so I think, wow, that doctor maybe could improve the quality of his life if he wasn't afraid of something that doesn't even exist yet. He's got it in his mind. But so that's my view, and that's how it's changed as an adult. When I had to, when I had to pull back and stop, was doing the drugs, and afterwards, it was so easy to be like, you know what, somas are bad, and then many of my other friends fell to it and drug abuse over the years. A high percentage of the wrestlers from my generation, but a lot of them were addicted, and some of them might have just been choosing to do what they were doing, but they did too many, and made mistakes.
Wow. Number one, thanks. I'm going to kick it over to Jamie because I saw your finger. Jamie, do you have a question for Rob or anything you'd like to add?
A rebuttal?
Well, first of all, thank you.
Yes.
Like, straight up, that was right here.
Beautiful.
I just wanted to know, when you talk about strength, are you talking about personal strength or a higher power, or you did it without a program? And I'm not here to judge you, brother. I just want to hear your story.
For me, it was no program needed. It was completely as easy as just making a choice. I didn't want to do it anymore. I think, and this is my understanding of life, that people have an addictive gene and some people don't have an addictive gene. I'm able to drink 6 cups of coffee a day for weeks, and then I can go a day and not drink coffee, and I don't crave it. I don't get those headaches and get shaky like people, some people do, but not everybody. And so that's my point, is that we're all one of a kind, and we all should look at ourselves that way to see if maybe the general verbiage on the subject might not fit you.
Yeah.
It's fear driven. That's what I hear, Rob. It's fear driven.
The strain?
Well, the beginning of recovery, I want to say this as well. Like, do you feel like recovery?
There's no addiction. I'm saying there is no addiction.
No
sometimes.
addiction. Rob, do you feel like it's possible? I'm going to ask Rob this question as well. Rob, do you think it's possible for somebody to perhaps wean off or decide that this is not the path they want to embark upon if there is nothing tragic that occurs because of the drug or drugs, plural? Meaning, if someone in your life or if you are not spiraling downward or you don't notice that you are, can a person still stop if they're having fun taking drugs?
Yeah, if it's just usage,
yeah,
it's just a choice as adults, and they just choose to use because it's fun.
Right.
Absolutely, they're not all addicted to it, even if they do it all the time. Look at how many women, as soon as they get pregnant, they stop smoking, they stop drinking, they stop whatever they were doing because now they have a baby and they have a reason. And so guess what? They don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to pollute their body. They want to keep it clean.
Sure.
I'm not saying that's for everybody, but it is an ignored factor that does exist. And I would say it probably exists in at least as many people as people that do get addicted. That's my beliefs.
I want to ask RVD, Jamie, and Joe this question because if they want to pop in, don't be bashful. Just jump in when I finish asking this question. People talk about friendships being everlasting and how tight they are, and that's great. But sometimes I feel, and I don't want to generalize, but I feel sometimes there are a lot of friends or family members that care so much about perception, meaning they care about how they're going to be perceived if they critique you. But they know that you're spiraling downward. They know that in this case, based on your example, someone shouldn't be taking as many drugs as they are. But they also don't want to damage the friendship. That's a thin line because they obviously care about the friendship, but they care more about losing somebody as a friend than losing them as a living human being. So in that case, is it better to be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie?
Yeah, if you're asking me, if you need help, you need help, and so anyone that's going to be willing to cross that awkward line and tell you that you need help, but I also know a lot of people that needed help but would not listen. And every single time that I told them they needed help, they were completely surprised. Like, you think so? Really? Like they completely discounted it every time I told them. And after a while, I decided that it was time to just be a friend because I'd spent so much time being the parent that I've accepted. If this dude wants to do himself in, I guess it's his life, and I'm not gonna look at myself as if I didn't try everything, so.
And in a way, not to sound again sappy about this, because forgive me for saying this, but I think you honored your friend who passed away so much more by deciding to change your habits at that point. Like, you're like, you know what? This is how I'm going to honor his legacy. Yeah. That's awesome. Like, wow, you thought about him and what it could do to him. And that's sort of like a mirror effect. You're like, wait a minute, this could be me, but I also don't want him. I don't want his death to go in vain. I'm going to do something better to make sure that doesn't happen to me, because he obviously cared about you as well. Guys and gals and pals, again, we please thank RVD and Joe Smith for going so deep and giving us really the trust that they have in us to listen to these amazing stories that are part of their personal experiences with Mr. Jamie Sparling. Guys, Zab is doing his very best to come back in here. He really is. And you know what? At the end of the day, guys and gals and pals, tech happens. We know it's a real thing. And hey, I'm not going to say anything bad about him. You saw the team he drafted earlier? I'm not messing with Zab.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'm not messing with that team. Mr. Sparling, I'll ask you the same question. Good sir, please discuss a time in your life in which you placed a limitation on your behavior and it ended up serving you rather well. The floor is yours when you are ready, good sir.
So I have to switch it up from what I was going to do. And RVD, much respect. And this is just the other side, okay? For me, when it came time for me to stop drinking, I went into a treatment facility. And I remember knowing that this disease had already killed my dad, and it was killing my mom, and it was killing most people in my family, and that I didn't want to leave. Like, I was actively giving up my freedom. And from that point on, I was kind of scared, but I stuck around and I did extra therapy. And by the way, you're a stud and you're strong. Okay, this is my story, right? But I ended up still scared, knowing that I spent more time dealing with alcohol addiction than anything else in my life, because before it was my problem, it was around me all the time. It was everybody's problem. That made it my problem because I'm a kid, right, at that time period. And when I was told that it was time for me to press on, I went and I lived in a halfway house for 10 months. And, all kinds of other bad stuff was going on in my life. You know what I mean? Because I did a lot of bad stuff, right? You know what I mean? Imagine that, how that goes, right? But I'll never forget, and this is for anybody that thinks has these types of things, but there was this thing that was called Oxford House. And everybody there all paid rent, had a job, but there were certain things that you had to do. And we were all guys, and we would bust each other's chops left and right, just like guys would, right? But a lot of these guys had come off the streets or done this or done that, and after they eat, they wouldn't wash their dishes. So a lot of things were taught by, we would bust each other's chops and fine each other $5. Literally, there's a bunch of guys who would come around and be like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, Vic is coming up. He's coming upstairs. If your dishes aren't done, it's going to cost you $10. You know what I mean? Those little itty bitty things. And it helped condition me or recondition me. I don't know. And I think addiction is very real. And I think that there is a lot of different pieces of it. And for many of us, it's going to require much more than just quitting, But I've seen you wrestle, sir. I'm not that surprised that out of the middle of nowhere that you were like, I'm just done, right? Because some people have that inside them. Man, I was scared to death, brother. Scared to death. And I stuck around there long enough, and I'll never, ever forget when I finally got certified to teach the martial arts, which is like my number one person who was ever good to me in my life was my guru, Steve Fristow. Okay? But I got certified to teach the martial arts, and I had no idea the certificates were coming, and they came to a halfway house called the Oxford House.
Oh, wow.
Right? And when all the boys were like, oh, you got something here, it's in a manila envelope. Well, that only came with court papers, Rob. Joe, right? I mean, that place. And I saw it, and it was from Marina Del Rey, California. And I thought, holy shit, no way. And I opened it up, and it was just a great thing. And I just want to thank you for your story. And I had to go the other direction. It doesn't surprise me, because you are who you are. And Joe, oh my gosh, I love talking to you, bro.
Oh, man. Thank you, Jay.
Amazing people, man. And but make no mistake about it, my wife wants to go to Greece. Okay, now I know that you started learning the language, and your wife's already making appointments, right?
I know.
Right?
That's a level of confidence that I don't quite have. But
Hey, Lou Ferrigno's got you all beat. He's already camping out there, so he's camping out there.
The hope. What are we gonna do?
And by the way, Lou Ferrigno, guys, a huge. I mentioned something to Lou about RVD. Lou's a big RVD fan, and I would like to invite Rob Van Dam to something off camera regarding Lou Ferrigno. Hopefully he'll like that. Lou's a big RVD guy, and also Tim Hardaway, who's in this tournament, is a big Joe Smith guy, and he's rooting for him.
That's my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Jamie something on his subject?
Yeah,
Jamie, do you think that some people can't just use?
No.
Okay.
I think everybody's different, like you said, and that's why, if in any other situation right now, I would be arguing more, to be totally honest. But you said for you, and I remember when I was in treatment, there was like, and everything is factions. It's fascinating. But in treatment, there was a faction of guys who went to A, and there was a faction of guys who did this other type of recovery they called rational recovery. And it was all based on the power of yourself. Okay? And everybody...
Do you feel like, though, that you can't fix problems, right? But you could fix your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the problems somehow fix themselves. But do you feel like a lot of times you don't even know what conversation to have with yourself? Because that's the scariest thing for an addict is you guys were brave enough to talk about your addiction. And when I was younger, I brought this up on air before. Rob said it, maybe not to that extent, of course, but being a very, very horrible pro wrestler that I was, horrible. One thing that, the mashed potato face was what I had. It was called somas, and you would kind of just take a lot of them. You'd be coming down after a match, and then you'd want to get up. And it's the Coke, and that's it's the Northeast, right? So it's not like we were flying and lucky to get a Denny's before hopping into a gym and then going to the arena, not even seeing the town. It was just Northeast, but even then, the somas became recreational because they felt good. And then somebody who's not with us anymore, a former pro wrestler, said, "Hey, when you're working out, if you're tired, take those Vikes, take those Vicodins when you're supersetting." And then it's like, wait, that's kind of like now I was out of wrestling. Because I just mentioned it, I sucked, and I was doing other things, but I was still taking the drugs, and I took them because they made me feel good. This was many moons ago, so that's kind of what I wanted to ask everyone here. When you have to kind of acknowledge your own self and the mistakes you're making, isn't that the hardest thing to do for an addict? Is to actually tell yourself not that you have a problem, but you have to tell yourself that it's not serving you well. Because we all have egos and we're telling ourselves we have it under control, or maybe it's going to help me get through this day, but it's not going to help you get through this day, but we try to rationalize. So how do you turn off that rational brain sometimes? How do you get emotional? Because sometimes that emotion, maybe if it's not logical, maybe it is that emotional energy that gives you that surge to overcome the rational brain that's saying, it's okay, I'm a tough guy.
I'm a big fan of your story is not everyone's story. Mm-hmm. And I always try to push that as basic thinkers can only think from first-hand perspective, how things happen to them and affect them, and no empathy. And I think that I'm starting to lose my train of thought while I'm talking here. I was going to say that I can't answer that question because I don't look at things from an addict's perspective, and that's the point that I think I'm getting across here is that not everyone is an addict, and like if it comes down to it, then what are we addicted to, and is it sugar, is it caffeine? Like where do we draw the lines? Right on normal people on anything if they are either psychologically addictive or if they've been using something for so long that they physically have a dependency on it, then it becomes one of the main table legs underneath holding. You can't just kick it out and not have it. So I get that, but I've always looked at everything like hey, I enjoy this. It's nice to have it, but I'm not always going to have it. And sometimes I don't, and then it's like, even like I like to smoke weed, but then sometimes I got to go a day or two because of traveling and without and no problem, I just want to make a point that some people can't do that, and that everything's been demonized for the fear, and that's where the fear has the power.
Sure.
Okay.
I want to thank you for I'm touched by your valor. I mean, that's the best way to put it, because like I think we're all in the same age group. I think we are, and I feel like we were all raised in the emotional dark ages. Like especially for men. Like, oh well, wait a minute, you can't. You have to overcome something. You can't talk about it. You can't overcome it. And that's kind of like what AA is. It's being able to talk about it against your will initially because you were told that you shouldn't because you're a man. And at least now, like, I appreciate you guys opening up because it inspired me to say this on air. Like, moderator guy, I'm not going to talk about me taking somas, but here I am because you guys inspired me to speak my truth. I feel like if I couldn't open up, I'd be lying. But you guys were the ones brave enough to do it. So with that, the judges are brave because they're going to be voting right now. I don't have to vote. How about that? Guys, judges, come on down. Who resonated most with you and why? Thank again these gentlemen for the conversations they're having. Will it be RVD, Joe Smith, Jamie Sparling, Zab Judah try to get in there? 3 out of 4. We'll move on to round number 3. Let's bring in Brian first to see who he votes for and why.
Again, guys, can you make it a little easier on us?
No.
All right, so starting from the top, I got to tell you, all three of you, again, did an absolutely amazing job. You pulled heartstrings and you made sure to let us know what your truth is. And we really appreciate you opening up to us. It means a lot. Now comes the hard part. I only choose one of you. I'm sorry again. I got to go with Joe. Joe, you kind of hit home for me, especially since I was following my dreams and understanding that there are times where you have to hold yourself back from ruining things that are good for you. And I can really relate to that. So my vote goes for you, man.
Oh.
Should I
Appreciate it, Brian.
Much love.
Should I play your prediction video, Brian, where you didn't pick Joe Smith?
Yeah, right.
Can I play that?
I was not expecting this tonight, but I'll tell you what, I am gladly upset.
Yeah, I'm just clowning, man. I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you so much, my friend.
Brian.
Let's bring in Mr. Chad from Canada to see who he votes for and why.
Gentlemen, another great topic and very well done. I concur with Brian. Now comes the hard part about having to pick one of you fine 3 gentlemen to take this topic away. And let me just come right in and let me tell you, I dealt with a lot of addiction problems myself, and I mean, it really hit my heartstrings having to listen to you, RVD, and both you, Jamie. I'm sorry, Joe. What you had to say quite didn't resonate with me as much because I've been through it and I understand what they have to say a little bit more. I did everything on my own. I'm not saying that help out there is not available. I did it all cold turkey. I'm very proud of it. I've been off alcohol now for going on 6 years, have not touched it. And hard drugs, I've been off now for 9 years. I did it all on the account of myself. I tried getting help.
Congratulations.
Thank you, RVD. I tried getting help, but I found people that wanted to help me, I wasn't ready to open up to and allow them in to help me. I had to be ready to do it for myself. And if I wasn't ready, then nobody was willing to help me or to change my way of thinking. So unfortunately, for the hard part of making a choice on this, gentleman, I unfortunately have to go with Mr. Jamie Sparling on this. I hope you all understand, but you all did an amazing job on this topic. Thank you all for tonight.
Thank you, Chad.
Keep being strong, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate you, Chad. Guys and gals, Mr. Phil Justin will be voting and letting us know who resonated most with him in this final topic and why.
Wow, you guys really, really don't make it easy. I agree with my fellow judges. Again, Joe, great story. I love hearing it. Picking the Terrapins, was a tough choice, I imagine, but it paid off. It certainly paid off.
Yes.
But move on to what touches me more would be between Jamie and RVD. I've had a lot of experience with drug addictions professionally. Several years ago, I was the director of personnel for a New York City government agency, and part of my job was to deal with employees, which we had well over 400, in various addictions. And I would, hopefully get them into a program through the city. And I'd say 90% of the people I dealt with recovered. As for myself, I went to college in the early 70s. And if anybody remembers those days, it was party every day, But luckily, I didn't do anything particularly addictive. There are some substances that are physically addictive in addition to mentally addictive, like heroin, opioids, things like that. Never wanted to do heroin. I was not a big fan of needles, which is kind of ironic. I now have 32 tattoos and looking for more. But, did my thing, just stopped. Nothing really addictive, as I said. But you got to go to the RVD. What you went through, you had your fun. It was, a good time, a good party. But sometimes you need something as tragic as losing a friend to that party atmosphere to make you say, hey, wait a second. I can't do this anymore. And you got through it. You overcame it. You became very successful. Same thing for Jamie. You overcame great adversity. But I'm going to go with RVD on this one. It just touched me more. God bless all three of you. I wish we could go on for another 5 hours talking. Really a great night.
Thank you, Phil. You too. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely, yeah. Joe Smith, RVD, and Mr. Joe and Mr. Jamie Sparling are all giving us, again, really deep reflections. They're reflecting on their past, and I know that some of you messaged me throughout the week saying, hey, that really struck a nerve. Hey, that really helped me. Cool. That's why we're doing what we're doing here, and we're doing it live. Thank you also to Zab Judah, guys, who is trying to still go for the KO. He's trying to go for the knockout punch right now. But Zab, guys, got some tech issues. Let's bring in Giselle, our final judge, to see who she votes for and why.
Oh, goodness. The thought-provoking ones are always the most difficult, and they're not getting any easier as we continue on in this competition. By the end of round 2, by the end of round 3, I think my head is going to literally explode. I love how giving everyone always is on this show, and especially you three tonight, sharing your stories, sharing why you made the choices you did when people didn't believe in you, didn't trust that you could make those choices. But for this particular topic, my vote is going to RVD.
Appreciate you, Giselle. Thank you so much for tallying as well, Giselle. Guys, now I'm going to put in your votes and see who advances to round number 3. I think we know, but let's make this official. I do want your comments to be addressed. And guys, in the comment section, you guys are the unsung heroes because you're supporting each other with your own stories. I see what you guys are sharing there. Thank you. It's really awesome of you. Ed votes for RVD. I still want the hanging chair behind you, LOL. That's from Ed. For your vote there. The honesty has been overwhelming without question. Yeah, give it up. For all the people saying, oh, yeah, and your rhymes, these guys make it easy on me. It's not just because of the resume, but because I want to serve them well, because they serve everyone well by being as honest as they are here. And that's a pretty rare thing. Incredible match indeed. This is Lester Cook voting RVD. Thank you, Lester. Appreciate you. We have CV and thank you for sharing your experiences. A very brave and honest conversation. My vote does go to Jamie. Thank you, CV. And Gloria Westcott goes for RVD. Julio concurs, and we'll go with RVD in this one. Thank you, Julio. Appreciate you. We have some more. Guys, remember that nail biter a couple of weeks ago that took place? We're going to address that matchup momentarily. Ron Brown votes for Joe Smith. Thank you so much, Ron Brown. Appreciate you. And guys, 11th hour match coming up. One of the biggest film directors of all time. We're happy to say that based on his resume. And one of the biggest film and TV stars from the 70s, 80s, and 90s will be here facing each other in a couple of weeks. Brittany says she votes for Rob Van Dam. Johnny McKinney votes for Rob Van Dam. Sharon votes for Joe. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate you guys again giving us your votes. Naomi votes RVD. And Larry votes RVD as well. Let's see if it's a trifecta. Eric votes for Joe Smith. April votes for RVD. IK Peace 911 votes for Joe Smith. A ton more guys. I'm not going to count all of them because then I won't just be a gray beard. I'll be a gray everything. It'll take 9 years to count all the votes. We're not going to have that happen here. So, guys, Eric votes Joe. Yes, I did get your vote. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to count this thing down, and we'll probably get a reaction from Rob Van Dam, Joe Smith, and Jamie. I will ask them all to hang out for just one more minute. I put together a trivia video for all of them, starting with Rob, then Joe, and then Jamie. Guys, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's a 5 and a 4. You know there's a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a 0. Of course, guys and gals and pals. Advancing to round number 3 officially are Rob Van Dam, Joe Smith, and Jamie Sparling. They will all be in the 3rd round of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Zab, I appreciate you, my friend, but man, you know the whole thing with tech. We appreciate you, but Joe Smith, RVD, and Jamie Sparling have moved on to round number 3. It is official, guys and gals and pals. They will be there in round number 3. Your thoughts, good gentlemen?
Good job, guys.
Man, great job. Great job. I'm excited about round 3. Hopefully see you guys again down the line, man. This is great, man. Listen to you guys' stories, man. I swear, you guys touched my soul, really, man. It was awesome being on with you guys, man. I appreciate what you shared, and I appreciate how you've overcome.
Joe, you've been on a lot of teams. I felt like this was a really good team right here.
Oh, it was. This is a great team. This is a great team. I mean, great. Everybody had a role. Everybody played their role well. And we came through with the victory.
Are you still the 4? You playing the 4? Who do we got at the 2? Who's playing the 2? I want to know.
You the point, Avi. You the point guard.
Okay. I like that. Thank you so much, my friend. Hey, one of these days, we're going to talk about one of my underrated point guards, Rod Strickland, who never made an all-star team. I don't understand how Rod Strickland never made an all-star team, man.
I love Rod. I played with Rod in Minnesota for a year. I love Rod, man. He's one of the best I played alongside of.
Amazing. 19 years in the league, too. Guys, Mr. Joe Smith, who's all heart. I'm going to talk to you in one moment, my friend, with a tribute video I have for you, one brief moment. And Jamie, a brief moment for you as well. I'm going to play Rob's first, then Joe's, then Jamie's. I'm going to put you guys backstage for 1 second.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Avi.
Absolutely. Class act, Joe Smith. Class act, Jamie Sparling. Mr. Rob Van Dam, this is a video for you. A little trip down memory lane from me to you. I hope you enjoy this. Once again, congrats to advancing to round number 3.
Yes.
That's art, guys. Jerry Albright, Sabu. Hell of a storyteller, guys and gals. Hell of a storyteller. Hall of Famer. Oh, incredible.
That's a cool shot. Maybe my first title, first championship.
I love that. Was that maybe 89 or so? 88?
Probably 91. Probably 91.
Nice. You're a really good guy, man. You're a really good guy. It comes across, I think, in a second. It comes across even in a text. Text can be lifeless sometimes, but you've got a really cool spirit about you. You boost people up, and I appreciate you for doing that, man.
Cool.
Did you have a nice time?
Appreciate you. Yeah, it's fun on this show, man. It's a little awkward to try to explain, you know, how this show works.
Sure.
And it's kind of an awkward idea for you to have, really, but when it comes down to it, I feel like it's something that I'm fit for, you know, like something that I'm good at, or I feel like I'm good at, and that's opening up and explaining and articulating, relevancy. It's a good time. Good time.
Yeah, you are, my friend, and you offer a lot of substance. I'm glad that we do. We have a tournament here that kind of allows people to know that the backdrop is the prize. We call it the pride and the prize, but you know, the real prize is being able to have like these living room conversations where we're on screen together, and sometimes you're kind of forced to listen to the other person, and it sounds sappy, but strangers become friends that way. And I feel like you and Joe are friends, and you and Jamie are friends, and that makes me feel so cool when some of you guys are asking me, hey, can I get that person's cell number? Everyone keeps in touch. That's what it's all about, man. Like, you figured it out from day number one. You had that conversation with me, and you're like, dude, I tried something like this, man. So, like, you got this before you were even on the first time, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm going to see you real soon outside of this, brother. I hope you have a great rest of the evening, and welcome to round 3.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you. Good luck with everything.
You too.
All right, man, have a great evening.
You too, my friend. Rob Van Dam, guys and gals and pals. We talk a lot off camera, and he's just very... He got the idea of this tournament, again, before we even debuted round 1. He didn't try something similar or identical like this, but he wanted to at least speak to luminaries and celebrities that, you know, didn't want to just talk about their careers. There's a way to do that, but imagine having to answer the same question all the time. There's so much more that these luminaries can bring to the table. We applaud their excellence. It's absolutely amazing, but we get to learn about what matters to them or who matters to them, and I feel like that's what human beings should have an opportunity to do. You guys get a chance to do it. The celebrities should as well. They shouldn't just be put on a pedestal. They're human beings that wake up the same way we do. Although, you know, some of us probably would have to crack the old neck just to look at a Joe Smith who's 6'11". My friend. I am so sorry, because 6'11", you always got a bright smile. You're always loving every minute of life. Even before, when you were watching the intro videos, you were having a good time too.
Oh yeah, no question. I'm always enjoying life. I love the videos. I love the intro videos. Every time we come on, man, I love watching the videos, because like I said, I learn something new watching the videos every time, and you always adding a little flair to it each time around. So, you know, I got to be on my P's and Q's to make sure I'm paying attention.
Oh, my friend, you always are, and I appreciate you for that. And I also hope that you enjoy this trip down memory lane.
Oh yeah, I did, man. I did.
This is for you, my friend.
Oh.
I agree, Phil. I agree.
Oh, wow.
That's what it's all about.
Right there. Right here.
There we go. That's what it's all about, right, Jamie? That's it. Number 1 pick, guys. Oh, God bless.
Yeah, go.
Last game, I think. Last game of your college career.
Yeah, Cofield House.
Yeah.
Yep. Day after the draft.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Oh man.
Family, guys. All about family.
That was my uncle's 75th birthday party.
Okay.
Twin, yes.
Wow.
Wow. A lot of this stuff I've seen it forever.
Yes, sir.
Family.
Family.
Ooh.
KG. I am so happy Mitch got us together. Big shout out to Mitch, who's a great guy.
Yes. Man. I thanked him not too after the first round. I had to send him a message thanking him for getting us together and making sure we got I was able to get on this show, man. And I appreciate you for reaching out. And it's been a blast, man, and I've been enjoying the whole ride.
I appreciate you so much, my friend. The Basketball Academy. Please, you never mentioned this, so I would like to. Is there anything you want to bring up? Because, my friend, I know there's some stuff that's coming down the pike we might explore later on that we're not going to talk about. But there's also that great academy. There's a cool table read coming up for you as well. Anything you want to bring up, my friend?
Also, I'm in my podcast that we're starting.
Okay.
It's going to be called Journey for Journey. And it goes off of what RVD was talking about. Everybody's story is not the same, or everybody's story is not the next person's story. So it's everybody's journey is not the next person's journey. So we're going to be doing interviews and holding, doing things with people, learning their journey, the ups and downs of their journey, the ins and outs of their journeys, what struggles they had, how did they overcome them, and that's what it's all about. We want to figure out, talk to people and learn their stories and learn how they were able to come up out of it, just like we just did here. And that's what the podcast is going to be based on.
Anything I could do to help, please let me know. Don't be bashful, because it sounds like quite the platform and project you got, my friend.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate it, Avi.
Well, my friend, you are now in round number 3. Congratulations on that, and I will talk to you very soon.
Yes, sir, Avi. You guys have a good one now.
You too. Joe Smith, guys and gals and pals. Absolutely. Round of applause, Chad. Let's give them all a round of applause. Howard, Chad. Let's give them all a round over here. Giselle, Brian, Phil. Get all on here. Give these guys a hand, especially this guy. Jamie Sparling. Welcome to round 3.
Jamie.
Nice.
He was proud, brother. He was proud.
How does it feel?
It feels great, I think I don't know. I get a little nervous. I think Zab Judah is going to pull up in a freaking limo out here, and all of a sudden, he was like the Godfather. I kept hearing the music from the Daredevil in the background. Dun dun, and I don't know, right? But I made it, and I was able to share a piece of my heart doing it, and every time when I judge, I notice people come in and the first thing we say is we all want to go. Like, people are learning language, right? They're making appointments for their wife. I know bags are packed, right? But by the time it's all over, there's some conversation, and I feel like people get to know each other, and this is such a beautiful thing. But I'm very humble. I'm very humble, guys. Definitely. Y'all should have voted for me more, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not biased here.
I know, but that was supposed to be funny. Okay? I'm sending Zab Judah and his 4 people to your flipping place, okay? You're probably closer.
I gotta say, the conversation between you and Rob Van Dam was really, I perked up. So I'm like, ooh, I want to go in the game, coach, because you brought up really 2 great, schools of thought, in terms of addiction. It could self-will and strength overcome, or do you need, another avenue you take? And that to me was like, ooh, that you just opened up a whole, that could be an hour and a half show right there. That's the beauty of what Avi does every Saturday night. That's the beauty of what all you guys bring to the table.
Well, I heard beauty and Avi. You're on the right track. Keep going. Flattery will get you everywhere. Guys, I want to bring this up here because I forgot to mention this. Rob Van Dam's got something really cool called Only Wrestlers. This is a really an awesome platform because it gives the pro wrestler a chance to really kind of connect with the viewers. Please check this out. It's called Only Wrestlers, onlywrestlers.com. I'll pump this up on the Black Box on Wednesday as well, and on Saturday nights. Your favorite wrestlers and promotions are waiting to hear from you.
Oh, nice.
There's a plethora of great information over here, guys and gals. Really cool site as well. Check this thing out. It's called onlywrestlers.com. Some awesome talent. Rob Van Dam, of course. This was a creation of his. Definitely something we're going to plug a lot. Onlywrestlers.com.
Nice.
Please check that out. And we're going to, again, mention this all over the place because I believe in it as well. 7 amazing people, Lester said. People here on screen right now. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And by 7, you mean me. Great job, Jamie. Podcast sounds awesome. No, you're right. Listen, the funnest part of the evening is being able to share the screen with these guys and gals. It's a lot of fun. It also means that when I share the screen with all of them, we're at the 2 hour and 50-minute mark and I can get out of the suit. But besides for that, I mean, come on. How could you not enjoy being with a Chad, a Howard, a Giselle, a Phil, a Jane, and a guy with a green ticket named Brian. Now, Brian, hold on a second here. You're smiling over here. Now, Giselle's in round 3, so I know you can't face her. She's a 3rd rounder. Jamie just made it to the 3rd round. He's a 3rd rounder. Well, guys, check out our flyers this week. It'll update you with the 3rd rounders. We'll have videos as well. Black Box on Joe Rizart's page. Black Box is a different kind of a show, but it's more than a review preview. There's a lot going on in the Black Box, guys, that has a lot to do with high-stakes situations that directly affect this tournament. On January 1st, Wednesday, January 1st, fittingly, the Black Box will debut on YouTube. So check it out. In the meantime, on Joe Rizart's page this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, check out the posts that Chad and Howard and Brian and Jamie and Phil and Giselle are all posting throughout the week with good information. Comment there as well. Subscribe to our channels. Comment on YouTube. All that stuff. But I can't subscribe to the following. I can't subscribe to the fact that Brian's keeping us in the dark because if it weren't for the Black Box, which is why it's an important show, Brian would have been eliminated already. Cindy Pickett and Richard Klein moved on, but he's got that green ticket, and he could decide who he's going to face in round number 2. And I'm looking at a few people here that he could face. So I don't know how they feel about it. I'll pop in with my own thoughts because I'm in round number 2. I don't talk about it much. But we have a Phil-Chad matchup with Miranda. Will that be a 4-way if Brian inserts himself? We have a Howard JW match. Jamie maybe has some thoughts about this situation. Giselle. Brian, let us know. Which way are you leaning? Or will you give us at least a hint of who you're thinking you're going to be facing in this 2nd round, Brian?
Well, I'm sitting here looking at meals is what I'm looking at right now. And I can pick from whatever meal I want. Yeah, I could throw a wrench in that wonderful man's plans right there. And if I did that, it would ruin all of your plans. We're talking about JWs, we're talking about yours, and Avi would be safe. But maybe I don't want to do that. But at the same time, ruining everything. No, I'm kidding.
Howard, he's baiting you. He's baiting you.
Listen, Brian.
Take it. Go ahead, take it.
We're getting close over this, journey.
Yeah.
I don't really. I try and stay chipper as much as I can, but obviously we know the minute you mention those 2 initials, I could go to a certain place.
Oh, you mean JW?
Ooh.
You mean those ones? Well, if I decided to go into your match, the new ones you'd have to be mentioning are BB. Because or you could just call me the wrench. Be up to you. But don't worry, I'm not going to do that to you. And
look, Brian, I get it. You're new, right? There's kind of a power thing, a ego thing that can happen. Look, I know all about ego. I know all about power, and the misuse of it. All right. All I'm saying is Brian, I am deadlocked and focused on JW, and I do not need anything else, any external factors entering into that match. Do you understand? Do you understand the stakes, Brian?
See, all I'm hearing is please don't enter it. I'm scared. Don't worry. I promise. Don't worry. I can give you my word that maybe I won't.
Look, Brian, I'm
Look,
just
I've got
very
bigger fish to
direct
talk
with
about right
you,
now.
Brian, just do not enter into.
I've got bigger fish to talk to.
Do not enter
real
into
quick
my
here.
business. That is it.
Oh,
all right. Do you understand?
I'm sorry, Chad.
We did see a four-way match today. We promised that Zab did still get in there for topic one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, guys, Zab is eliminated from this tournament. I'll play the farewell video on Wednesday. Man, oh man, he tried his best. He kept signing in. You kept seeing. He kept all night. Did you guys notice? Kept signing in.
Yeah,
kept signing in. Kept signing in.
Mm-hmm.
Did his very best. It's not his fault because his flight got delayed. That's not something he planned, in case you're wondering. Having a jovial time there in the cab because he's trying to make the best of it, but he kept signing back in and texting me. And, you know, it's how it goes sometimes. With Ryan Cabrera, we couldn't even get him in because his Wi-Fi, again, wasn't working well at all. But we had a four-way match nonetheless. Now, Chad, Miranda, and Phil, 66% of that trio is on screen right now. If you do the math, 66.6, Chad and Phil. Miranda was here last week. If Brian inserts himself into this match, starting with Phil, it becomes a four-way. How do you feel about that, Phil? How would you feel if that were to actually come to fruition?
To be perfectly honest, it wouldn't matter to me. I have a goal. I'm going to work to that goal. If I'm facing Chad and Miranda, or if I'm facing Chad, Miranda, and Brian, it doesn't really change anything. I have my sights set on moving on to round 3 and beyond. So whatever Brian decides to do, he'll do what he wants.
Okay, Phil's not afraid. I want to bring up some of your comments, guys. It's a great time to bring up your comments. Remember, there's so much we're going to do with all of you in the comment section. So stick around, please. If you want to help us out, it's free, absolutely free. Just bring in your friends and family because we're doing great. We are happy that we're at 67,000 plus subscribers in 10 months. We're happy that we're 2.5 million views almost in only 10 months. So we're still growing. We're still doing great in this last calendar year. Mad Catter, suggestion, maybe use a track from Howe's, Rich, and Simon's Sadness album. It's a really sad album. I can find it. It's pretty rare. I might actually use that. So you guys are giving us suggestions of what to play. So there you go. Great album there. Sharon, thanks to all the great legends. Giselle, thanks to Zab for joining us. Absolutely. Thanks to RVD and Joe Smith for spending their Saturday night with us. Without question, we're all locked in here. We're all locked in. Everybody wants in this tournament. Chad is in this tournament. He wanted in and he got in, got one of the last spots. Chad, how would you feel if you were to have to contend with a Brian Burr in your matchup with Phil and Miranda?
Well, I mean, I'd welcome Brian into the match because, I mean, I'm going to walk away with top vote. I don't mind Brian coming in, taking second vote. He's not going to knock me out of the tournament. You just got to worry about Phil and Miranda. I'm cool with whatever he wants to do, so take your pick, Brian. Have fun with it.
You know, I was just thinking, being two engine members, and obviously Phil's here, so you know we gotta let him in on this. He's neither here nor there, but you know maybe a 3v1 almost. Make sure that Miranda gets that.
1. How does Giselle feel about that? So Brian is essentially, let's bring her in and get her viewpoint. Then Jamie's going to come in, but having Brian face Chad and Phil in an alliance situation where they would be teamed up against Miranda. Giselle, your thoughts there?
I think that would ruin the integrity of this tournament.
Yes,
Brian, would you like to ask why, Brian? I mean,
you would have to sit here and tell me that you don't think Miranda is one of the strongest competitors in this match in order to say that.
So you're saying you would team up against Miranda because you find her to be the strongest. Now, how does Phil and Chad feel about that? So you're saying she's stronger than Phil or Chad in their match?
Oh, absolutely.
You have a short memory there, my friend.
Well, Phil did beat Miranda. It was a triple overtime, but he kind of went went the distance in advance.
Yep.
Chad seems like he's just kind of taking it in. Guys, if you want more of this dynamic, let's bring Jamie in over here. Wednesday's Black Box. That's where you'll get more of this as far as personal interactions. Someone brought up a good comment. I'm new here to know your dynamics. We'll watch the Black Box. You'll know all about them on Wednesday night. Great opportunity, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Joe Rizart's page. Message any of us. We'll let you know where to find it. Guys, the outro. Don't go anywhere because I want to get Jamie's viewpoint. Then we cut to the outro. This is where everyone is on screen. And they might get some solo layouts because they're going to react to what they're seeing, including a top 10 of the contenders that you feel are the top 10 contenders in round number 2. And then at the end of this video, we're going to find out who's facing who next Saturday night. Man, am I anticipating this one. Trust me, am I anticipating this one. Jamie, look, celebratory mood, why not? You came in here with the objective of getting into round number 3. You are now in round number 3. You've moved on. You've been here before. Do you feel like the mind games Brian is playing will serve him well?
No, I think he's scared of Miranda. I think that's, I mean, I know I see a little stir in here, but Miranda's an OG and she's been around, and I don't know. I mean, I agree with Giselle that would maybe play with the integrity of the tournament, but really, I mean, Brian, are you scared of Miranda? Talk to me.
See, that's the thing, is that scared would mean that I'd be fearful. I'm not fearful.
That's what scared means.
I'm just noticing the competition.
Oh.
And I'm taking in everybody's strengths and weaknesses.
Strategy.
I've noticed you doing
Phil's
that.
weakness. Phil's got
what?
a pretty big weakness.
Right.
See, I'm not super worried about him because I'm pretty sure there might be a tech issue that day.
You're
Who
thinking
knows?
Phil might have tech issues. What would Chad's weakness be, Brian?
Chad's weakness is his inability to be okay with what he says. Always second guessing himself, even the slightest bit, and showing that little tinge of worry about what he says might not be true.
What about Howard Collado?
Oh, Howard overthinks. Constantly tries to play that game where he's telling you and he's making you think that's he knows everything about it, but he's overstepping. He's saying too much while saying not enough.
So this is your analysis of the people that you might face, but I'm on screen. I don't like to talk about my participation in this tournament, but I'm doing it for Tom Sizemore and nobody else. I have Megan and Diane Franklin. What's my weakness, Brian? I'd like to know. I want to get better.
If I had to decide about your weakness, it would be your underconfidence about yourself. You bluster yourself and say how you're going to win all the time, but you're worried about the people you go against. You enjoy the battle, but maybe you enjoy the battle too much and don't have a strategy in place in case something bad happens. We've got a Howard Collado versus a JW, and you might be gone. And I'm thinking 3 steps ahead because I don't want you gone. Because I want to face you. So how do I do that? How do I make sure that Mr. Avi Klein doesn't disappear?
Some really deep stuff, guys and gals and pals. Brian has given this a lot of thought. Got to give him credit. He's got the green ticket. He's the man with the plan. He's thinking about every move, probably 2 or 3 moves and steps ahead of all of us. We're transfixed and focused on our own opponents. Guys, our own opponents, right? Well, how about next week's opponents? You can only find out by watching the outro now. Please subscribe if you haven't to our YouTube channel. And, of course, get your friends and family, even your enemies. They will be enemies no more if they check out even 2 minutes of this footage. But make sure they stick around and watch a bit more of that because we have a lot of great content tonight on the night that Jamie Sparling, Green Room Original, Mr. Dojo himself. We're going to be talking about Affinity Martial Arts and what he does there. Great dojo, great cause, great mission. He's there for the kiddos. Guys and gals, he's in round number 3. Joe Smith is the man for the kiddos. His basketball academy, he put his heart and soul into that. He helps the kids. Rob Van Dam helps just about everybody. He's a very honest man with integrity who's always had that integrity, who always put his own principles ahead of even this back in the day when he was younger. We all know that. Rob Van Dam, one of the greatest of all time, no doubt about it. Rob Van Dam, Jamie, Joe Smith in round number 3. Zab Judah got eliminated, guys and gals. But this is the outro. So for Chad, who's going to be finding out if he will be facing Phil, Justin, and Miranda, might be in this outro. Phil, who might find out at the end of this outro if he will be on next week against Chad and Miranda. For Giselle, who's sitting by waiting for her unsanctioned match with Pete because they're third rounders. For Howard Collado, who has a lot of time before he faces JW. And for Brian Burr, who is waiting and playing mind games and enjoying every bit of this. I am Avi Klein. Thank you guys and gals for being who you are. Please enjoy this wonderful outro because it will give you a chance to watch again who we're going to be facing or who's going to be facing who next Saturday night. And as a matter of fact, before I even pull this video up, I want to pull up something else, if you guys don't mind. This is a video that I haven't played yet that I was thinking about playing. Well, I guess that the best time to play it is right now. Some of you asked for it. We do bid farewell to one of the greatest of all time. Last name Judah, first name Jeb. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, my God. Wow, what a hell of an interest. Wow, what a hell of an introduction. That was cool, man. That was super cool. I don't even think Michael Buffer did it better than you, brother. The first fight I made, rather say it was $1.5 million fight. The second fight, going into, they said in order to fight him again, Zab, you can only receive $100,000, and you got you got to fight him in his hometown, and you got to wear a certain brand of gloves.
Guys and gals, I made those videos for everybody. I made them for Jamie. I made them for Joe Smith. I made them for Rob Van Dam. And in case you're wondering, guys and gals, we don't want anyone to think that this thing is not on the up and up. I mean, look, we had a Rob Van Dam one over here, which doesn't count, of course. You can see, right? There we go. That's RVD right there, next to Howard's buddy JW. So we never know. We create all the possible elimination videos, not knowing who will be eliminated. So we have them ready just in case. That's how it is. We're on the up and up. Guys and gals, again, thanks for sticking around. This is the outro. Let's get all fired up. Round 3 is the real deal. Eliminations galore. There can be a lot more blank spaces on that flyer. That's just how the old mop flops sometimes. Enjoy the outro, guys, and you'll find out at the tail end who is facing who next Saturday night.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
I'm your huckleberry. I took that quote and I use it to where I can help the kids.
Man, and he got me the gold medal, man. To me, he's the best trainer that I've ever been with.
Critical thinking in college to get my degree led me to moving forward in my life.
But I can always look back at that memory of being a part of that history in 07.
Stallone made that character one that, like I said, that everybody could kind of relate to.
But I'm going to be supporting, Cody and the Rhodes family, of course, Dusty being a mentor of mine.
And the big challenge for young people is that they're not given the opportunity to take that lead.
I'm really happy that I put that extra work in, because when I came to Princeton, I survived.
We don't want to live in unhappiness anymore. We choose to smile and live to the fullest. I'm wearing in at minus. That's the name of the designing company that did this tux for me.
Such a thrill. It was like, oh, I'm in the big leagues, and I'm playing with the big leaguers, and it was incredible.
Hello? Hello. Never had this problem on NBC.
We haven't had the equality to be incompetent like men have had.
Because he wanted me to react, and I pretended that I didn't see it, and I didn't give him what he wanted. The best question was no question.
Yes.
How many players do you think were on those two rosters that were black? Very few people know the answer. It was 9.
Farouk and I were great friends. We had ridden together for years. We both had a similar background.
I don't know if there's ever been more controversy in sport than Ali not going to the Vietnam War. I don't know how much you weighed, but when I say it's time to go, it's time to go.
Challenging or loss of a job, and you think, how are they doing it? How can they do this? But we're all stronger than we think we are. Sort of was a natural thing to transition into commentary, and I worked with Lifetime for a few years before getting with the Ice Network.
And the minute I saw her, I fell in love. Not lust, love.
I believe love is the greatest power we have.
To make sure you're good enough, you have to save everybody, which made me a great teacher.
But I enjoyed being part of a team, part of teamwork, and part of this team right here.
We have so many good people in this community that do so well. The Zach Charity Open, the Winemakers Dinner.
I phoned my father, and I told my dad that I am now in the Hall of Fame, Dad.
If you're not thinking about what's happening, it's going to be 50 years come 2019. And I went, wow, where does the time go?
This evening, I'm going to be putting on my teacher cap because I want you all to get introduced to the world of voiceovers.
It's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that itch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.
I'm going to win this whole thing. Watch.
I know you are, Tom. I know you are.
Go!